Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here. It's Thursday, and we're doing a Thursday think tank on the new logo for the 30th anniversary season of the Toronto Raptors, released earlier this week. Also, we had the preseason released yesterday, which is fantastic. We can see who the Raptors are playing in October to get ready for the season. 5 games, 2 games against the Washington Wizards, and then 2 games against the Celtics, the champs, and then 1 game against Jordi Fernandez and the Brooklyn Nets. So yeah, the preseason schedule's out already. This is very, very cool. Sometimes we have to wait for it. I know that each year, the last couple of years, Monique is like, when are we going to get the preseason? When are we going to get the preseason? Well, we got it. Now we got to get the regular season at some point. But it's nice to know our preseason schedule already. So yeah, we'll go over that a little bit more. And let's talk about that logo today, too. Raptor Freak Stream right now. It's Scotty's birthday, baby. Let's go. Happy birthday, Scott. It's in his Michael Jordan year, guys. He has turned 23 today. Scotty Barnes, August the 1st is his birthday, 2001. And he is 23 today. Michael Jordan number. He's in his Michael Jordan year. Well, let's see if he can do some Jordan-esque things in his career this year, in his 23rd year of his life. Yes, let's go, Scott. All right, Bryce Lawson's in first from the K-Tuck. Good to see Bryce is the first comment this morning. Good morning, Lex and the Raptor Freaks. First in the chat, God bless you all, and God bless the stream with bright vibes. Lex's valuable knowledge and passionate Raptors love. There you go, Bryce. I love it. I love it. Yes, bless everybody. Let's bless the world. Let's bless everybody, and we can get over our differences and everything in this world and come back together and be happy. Yeah, it's really interesting, the politics right now down south. Of course, it is Thursday, so we can talk a little bit about what we think. That one side is looking very, very united and very much talking about unity and love and positivity and stuff. The other side seems like they're ugly and angry and racist. Let's put it that way. All right, Bryce, good to see you, man. He's saying, I've got some food for thought. Jonathan Mobo growing into backup point guard. This is an interesting question to start the stream off with right here. I will say this, Bryce. I would say this. Jonathan could be one of our passers. He could definitely be one of our outlet kind of people, but I don't know if he'll be the guy who's going to dribble the ball around too much. Like, I could see him sometimes getting the rebound and sprinting up court with it and trying to dribble the ball up the court. Now, if he does that and that causes turnovers or that's too crazy or wild, then he probably doesn't need to be doing that action. But we'll see. I mean, it could be as easy as like Jonathan gets a rebound, defensive rebound, and he's looking up the court and he's finding people for long passes like Lowry might have done back in the day. Or I could see him in the set of the half court of Darko's 0.5 offense where he like really pulls off some really nice passing. So I don't know if he'll be a straight up backup point guard, but he'll definitely be looking for people and trying to get assists. So yeah, part of it is he can't probably guard most of the speedy guards in the league. And then also, I'd be very, very worried about him in transition offense, trying to bring the ball up the court all the time. Now, if he shows something where he's capable and I don't have to worry about it, well, then green light. But he's so unknown, and we haven't seen him in any kind of way other than the summer league for like 2 games. That we can't really make this determination about whether we should feel comfortable with him having that responsibility. But I think that there's a possibility of it. Yeah, there is a possibility of it down the road for sure. Trevor's saying, good morning, Raptors family. Don't waste your time worrying about things you have no control over. There's so much peace in allowing God to take over and fight for you. Wow, Trevor, I love that. Yeah, there's so much in this world. We all want to control our lives a little bit more so that we have safety and security and we feel good about things. But in some ways, this world is so wild and crazy, and we cannot control everything in our lives. And we just got to accept what we can and cannot control and change what we can control to the way that we like it. So, yeah, good words of wisdom, Trevor. And I'm with you on this. Stop worrying about things you have no control over, because in some ways, you got to give it up to your higher power, God, and just say, you know what? I have it in your hands. You're going to make it all work out all right. Yeah, let's see Leo's live tips real quick. I thought he was really good today. He's saying overthinking ruins friendships and relationships. Overthinking creates problems you never had. Don't overthink. Just overflow with good vibes. I like that. I mean, I have a habit of overthinking. I'm just the kind of person that'll just overthink everything. In some ways, this is an outlet, this channel, overthinking about the Raptors. Well, I'm going to do it on this stream, and we're going to all overthink about the Raptors together. But I really do understand what Leo's saying. Keep it simple and just kind of go with the flow of life, because life is going to do what it's going to do on its terms, and you need to go on its terms, because the more you fight against life on life's terms, the more miserable you are. That's just how it is. Good stuff from Leo and Trevor. Some wise words this morning. Monique is here, the super fan. Monique Lawrence is in the house, the greatest. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Go Canada. Raptors 30th anniversary logo, A+. All right, there's Monique's grade on the logo. I like it too. I really do. When it was revealed, I did a live reaction on the channel 2 days ago. But let's go in more in depth on the logo right now and talking about how it looks. Casey Bannerman said that he feels like the logo did a good job of encompassing all these different colors from the Raptors history in the right amounts. And it was a clean, nice, fresh logo. I think it's a great logo. I think that it gets across the important thing, the 30. And the 30 is 30 years of Raptors basketball. When we did the 20th anniversary, we had 2 X's as the number. It was really not a bad logo either. And it was old school font, the Raptors font from the dinosaur jerseys with the Raptors on top and the X's, 2 X's, 20 years, 20 years. So now we're doing 30, and it's the Del Curry number. And we've got the dinosaur chomping on the 0 of it. Some people were saying, why is the 3 bigger than the 0? Well, that's the graphics of it. It's cool. It's actually a balance is why. I'm not a trained graphic designer, but I've been around a lot of graphic designers. My brother has a degree in this. And I would say that the weight of the image has to be balanced with the Raptor head on top. And the 30 has to have a kind of an overhang. So it's kind of more of a yin yang kind of feel to it. So it's kind of like a whirl. And that's why maybe the 0 is smaller than the 3. A lot of people are really excited about the logo and the new stuff coming. They see the purple around the Raptors graphics and they're getting crazy. I don't understand these people. Like, I get it. People love the old school Raptors jersey, the purple dinosaur from back in the day. It's iconic. Some people have said that is the best jersey in the history of the NBA. I get all that, but you've got to understand that's the past. And in some ways, it's great to revisit the past on anniversary seasons like this one coming up. But we don't need to reincorporate purple into our color scheme. There's way too many people online on social media places. They're seeing the purple right now and they're saying, yeah, we want the rebrand. We want the rebrand. Y'all don't understand. This is not a rebrand. This is just for this season. We're going to use purple this year. We are not switching our color to purple. If we do, I'd be shocked, and I would not be okay with it. Seriously, our colors are better if they're red and black. And all the Raptors fans who want to just go right back to the old purple dinosaur jersey, go watch the old basketball and go look at our old records and understand that's not the era we want to recapture. Seriously, y'all were not there. A lot of y'all young fans were not there in the late 90s when we were losing 80 games a season almost. And y'all, seriously, you're going to bring back bad memories for old heads like me. They've been Raptors freaks from the beginning. The youngsters that we want purple. We want purple. You want your fucking Barney? You go fucking watch Barney. I love you. You love me. That's what you want? You go watch Barney reruns if you want the purple, because I ain't about it. This is for this year only, that we are going to have purple around our jersey again. There won't be games where we're going to wear purple every single game. No, there'll be special games where they throw back the jersey and they bring back, and I'm guessing this year they're probably going to do the Vince Carter purple front blackback, because we've seen some images of Scotty in that jersey, maybe photoshopped or something like that. But I could see that if this is the year of honoring Vince on his 25th anniversary of his dunk championship, well, the jersey that I want to see them bring back, because they brought back a different jersey at each anniversary. In the 15th anniversary, the 20th anniversary, they brought back the original purple dinosaur jerseys, the ones that everybody loves. Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol and them were wearing. Well, Marc Gasol wasn't here yet. Kyle Lowry was wearing them. Those guys were wearing them then. Terrence Ross, DeMar DeRozan. I remember because I went to one of the games where it was throwback. It was against the Wizards, and they were all wearing purple dinosaur jerseys. and we won that game. I remember that game. That's the day one of the days I met Alvin Williams. Now, then on the 25th anniversary, which was in the bubble, guys, they actually had the throwback white dinosaur jerseys from the original year. Actually, that's really the first jersey, is the white one with the dinosaur on it. That's the one that was the most prevalent in our first year. That was the one that they wore the most at home, and the purple one was on the road. So they wore that one for the 25th anniversary year of the Raptors. So I say, you continue to cycle up, and you go back and throw back to different jerseys from the past. So we've done the purple jersey, we've done the white one. Now we got to do that Vince Carter purple front, black back jersey. And I think that's what's going to happen. I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating. But if I was guessing, that is probably going to be the select jersey that's going to be for select games during the season. It's going to be kind of like Welcome Toronto, where there's certain games where we wear black and gold. Well, there's not going to be every single game that we're wearing purple jerseys. It's going to be certain select 30th anniversary games this season. Now, when they did their press release this week talking about the 30th anniversary season, they really had an interesting description of what they're going to be trying to do. They're going to be a bunch of events around it, and they're going to be fan interactive events. Like, they're going to be doing the stuff like they always do, where they'll be out in the city and they'll take a picture of a landmark and they'll say, "We're here right now, and if you get down here, you'll get a free jersey, Scotty Barnes purple black back jersey." I'll bet you money, that's one of the things they're going to do. They're going to have all kinds of different events celebrating the 30th anniversary. They're going to have, of course, at games. They're going to have alumni from Raptors history return and show up at games and wave to us and say, "Hey, everybody, Terrence Ross, former Raptor and slam dunk champion, Terrence Ross is here." And Terrence Ross will come out and wave to all the Raptors fans. I know Terrence is coming because he told me he is. He told me on his Twitch. He said, "The Raptors reached out to me this summer, Raptor Streak." And he said, they said they want me to come and visit this season coming up. And I said, "Well, it's the 30th anniversary of the Raptors." And he's like, "Oh, Raptor Streak, is that true? That's probably why they want me to come. All right, I'm going to come up there. I haven't been up there in a hot second. I'm interested to come back up to Toronto and see hi to you guys." So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Ross is going to show up at some time this season and say hello to the Raptors fans in the 30th anniversary. So there'll be a lot of that kind of stuff. There'll be certain games where, who knows, Serge Ibaka's in the crowd all of a sudden, waving to everybody. NBA champion Serge Ibaka of the Toronto Raptors 2019. There'll be a lot of that. Now, Vince's day has been announced. It will be on the 25th anniversary of his dunk championship. So, and I'm pretty sure they're going to give him a statue. I'm pretty sure. I'm very, very, very sure. But who knows? If they retire his jersey, well, I won't be that happy about it, but I'll have to go with it because that's what they decided. But yeah, that's kind of what's coming up with this season and some of the interesting things that we found out already about the branding and the plans that they have to celebrate the 30th anniversary. There's going to be some purple, y'all, but don't get all crazy. This is not a rebrand. Y'all saying, "We want the rebrand. Where's more purple?" Nah, dog. Like I said, go watch Barney if you want that. You guys don't even understand what it was like back then. That in some ways we had no respect at all whatsoever in this league. We really, really did it. We got the respect in the last 15 years of this franchise while Masai's been here. Before that, this team didn't have respect in the right way. Vince got some respect for us in the early 2000s, but then he destroyed it on his way out. And I'm not about hearing stuff like I heard when Chris Bosh played for us, Purple Dinosaurs, and then playing the Barney theme around our team. That's something that we shook in the red and black era of the Raptors franchise. That if we're going to start wearing purple again, we'll get ready to start hearing stupid ass Barney songs in the warm up in the visiting arenas when we go to other arenas. So, I mean, I'm not down with this. You guys got to understand there's a good and a bad side to those jerseys. And the people that were there know the bad side. Y'all can look at them and say, "Oh, they're fire jerseys. Oh, they're fun. They're cartoony." I'm like, yeah, they're great. Let's bring them out for alumni and anniversaries, but you do not want to wear them regularly again. Just trust me, Raptors fans. And some people are so anti-Chevron. I don't get this. Why are there so many Raptors fans that hate the Chevron jerseys? They're great. I don't even know what y'all are talking about. That is a really good thing. The design of the Chevron is showing up, like we're on our way up. In some ways, it is a subliminal message in the Raptors jersey that the Raptors are working on coming up every single time. I never understand this. Like, you know what? My favorite chevron jersey is the one we won in, the red one with the white chevron. Yeah, the earn not given jersey. You can't buy it anymore. Those jerseys are amazing. In some ways, those jerseys are rare. In some ways, I pine for the day when we're doing an anniversary season and we're wearing those jerseys again, because those jerseys are the greatest jerseys in the history of the Raptors franchise. And it's too bad we couldn't make it into something that would be a regular rotational jersey for us. They put it right out of stock, just like a Beanie Baby, and made it more rare and valuable by doing that. So in some ways, it's annoying because I love that red and white jersey. In fact, it's the most Canadian looking jersey the Raptors have ever worn. The one that they wore when they went on the championship run and won. And I can't wait for that anniversary year when we are going to bring back that jersey and let our current players wear that one. So this is just how I feel on this. I am not against the chevron design, and people that hate the chevron so much, get over yourselves. It's been a good look for us. And if we want to establish any kind of long-term identity with our jerseys, that's the one I want it to be, even if y'all hate it, because the Celtics have a very established look to their jersey. The Lakers have a very established classic look to their jersey. And I want the Raptors to have that established look of that jersey. In some ways, I don't want the black on it, though. If we could get back to just red and white more and more with the Raptors jersey, I'd be happy. If they're going to design new Raptors jerseys, make them just red and white, guys. Seriously, whoever's in charge of that, you listen to me. Let's make them red and white, and let's cut down on the black over the years. Yeah, this is my own opinions on Raptors jerseys and the style of our team as being a Raptors fan from the very beginning before we even had a name. And that's how I feel about it right there. Yeah, there you go. Boom. And most saying preseason schedule is out. Home and home with the Celtics. Still funny. And Masai's recent interview. Very deep thoughts. All right, most bringing up a couple of things that are very interesting. All right, let's look more closely at the preseason schedule. So on October the 6th, we're going to play the Washington Wizards in Montreal. That will be the Montreal game this year. So the first game for the preseason will be in the Bell Center in Montreal against the Wizards. Of course, that will probably mean that we will continue our winning streak in that building in Montreal. We're like undefeated when we play preseason games in Montreal. The Raptors are. So I can see that happening. Mo's saying in the chat, she thinks that we're going to beat the Wizards for sure. I'm pretty sure we will too, but let's not get ahead of ourselves and take them lightly. That's for sure. And then we're going to get to play them again, actually down in their building 5 days later. So the Wizards, it's good that we play the same team a couple games in a row because it really kind of gives you a tune-up. And the way that the league has been doing more and more 2 games with a series, like 2-game series where you have to go and play Orlando twice all of a sudden, is kind of good to get tune-ups like this. And also it's kind of the playoff kind of feel of playing the same team multiple times in a row. So I kind of like that we're playing 3 teams in the preseason and 2 of them 2 in a row. I think that that's good. So the Wizards, a tune-up, in an easier opponent, probably, yes. And then we're going to have to go. We'll have our only game in Scotiabank Arena of the preseason on October the 13th against the Celtics. Oh, wait, no, that's actually in their building. That game's in their first. We go to their building, and then they're going to come to Scotiabank for the 15th. So we'll play the champion Celtics on the 13th in their building, and then 2 days later we'll come back to Scotiabank and play them in our building. Now, I love that we're playing the Celtics in the preseason. I'm not. This is great because they're the champs, and in some ways, the preseason doesn't matter jack shit. And if we win against them, that's great. We can feel good. We beat the champions in the preseason. If we don't, well, that's expected. It's the preseason. It doesn't matter. So in some ways, playing the Celtics 2 times in a row in the preseason, we have nothing to lose. And in some ways, you want to play the best to be the best, right? Well, let's play the best team in the league from last year in the preseason twice and gauge where we're at when we're healthy with Scottie and Jakob in the lineup against them. That's what I'm saying right there. And then the last game of the preseason on the 18th of October, we'll play the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn in Barclays Center. So we'll get a chance to see RJ and Kelly versus their Team Canada coach, Jordi Fernandez, in the preseason. So that'll be a fun little end to the preseason. 5 games. Hey, that's all right. Some teams may do more games in the preseason. It's up to each NBA franchise to decide how many games they want to play in the preseason. Some teams play 6, some teams only play 4. We're going to do 5 this year. So, yeah, I love that. Yeah, Monique is also talking about an interview that came out by Bloomberg in the last 2 weeks about Masai Ujiri. In some ways, I think that this Bloomberg report actually kind of spawned that article that came out on ESPN last week that was very detrimental, or not detrimental, just deriding the NBA, Masai Ujiri, Adam Silver, for their relationship with the leader of Rwanda. And well, this Bloomberg report came out, and I listen, when you hear it's Bloomberg, it's a business. It's business people. It's just like the Wall Street Journal. That company is for business reporting, and they're talking about economics. They're talking about money making. And in some ways, that Bloomberg interview was great. It opened up our eyes to details about Masai. Like, he showed a picture he said, this is a picture of when we were working out the Kawhi trade. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. He also said that he doesn't wear any Raptors championship stuff from 2019 because he doesn't want to feel like he's accomplished what he's accomplished. In fact, he forgets that we won on purpose because Masai wants to stay as hungry as possible to win the second one. Like, they have the Larry O'Brien at the OVO Center in a little area away from the practice court. And Masai doesn't like going in there. Like, he stays away from Larry because he doesn't want to feel like Larry's already with him. He wants to reacquire Larry again, get a second championship. So one of the ways that Ujiri makes himself hungry is that he doesn't acknowledge that we won the championship already. He says we have to win it again, and he's feeling like he's never won it right now. So that's very interesting. Now, what I was saying before about Bloomberg, now they're a business channel, and they report on business news, and it's all about economics. And in some ways, Bloomberg can be used as a tool to open up public opinion in a favorable way of different things. Now, that piece by Bloomberg was very, very complimentary of the Giants of Africa stuff that he's doing over there, Ujiri, and the NBA and stuff like that, and talking about how Masai is looking at it from a business side, that he wants to cultivate economics in the countries in Africa that he's doing projects over there to help grow an ecosystem that makes more basketball and more jobs, more opportunity, more possibilities for the talent to be found in that continent to be able to possibly come over here and make it big, big time. Is a very, very cool and awesome clip. But I will also say that clip was made to normalize the business relationship between them and the leader of Rwanda. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why the person wrote this. Now, there's maybe people that are in opposition party against the leader of Rwanda, and that they're still saying, there was a genocide here. There was all kinds of stuff that happened. And he's also snuffing out any political opposition to him. I can understand that. But it's very interesting that the establishment, Bloomberg, is putting out the good information about the whole situation, because in some ways they know there's money to be made in Rwanda. But it's a fantastic piece regardless. And I totally stand with you, Ujiri. In some ways, listen, if the leader of Rwanda has a bad history, but he's led that country to more positive horizons and more growth economically and better lives for his people, well, I get it. In some ways, it's really bad that he is a dictator and he's just holding things down in a certain way for himself. But also at the same time, he's had a net positive result for his people in that time. Has there been better peace in that country since he's been there? Has he been a humanitarian, even if he's ruling with an iron fist? I don't know. In some ways, this is out of my range of what I should be talking about right now. But it is something that has been a debate around the whole cultivation of basketball in Africa. Is particularly, well, what do? You got to get in bed with a dictator to do what you're doing? I don't know. Either way, Masai, we love you. And it was so cool to see that clip. It's must watch for Raptors fans. The Bloomberg interview with Masai Ujiri. It's about a half an hour. And you'll learn so much more about Masai and who he is. Yeah, it's really, really cool. He's very close friends with Barack Obama. Let's just put it that way. Ujiri and Obama are like this. And partly it's because they're both half Kenyan. They really are. And Ujiri is half Nigerian, half Kenyan. And he identifies with former President Barack Obama very closely, and they are very close friends. It's the kind of thing where Ujiri could probably pick up the phone and call Barack at any time. I'm telling you, that's how they are. They're like this. Seriously. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good stuff, Monique. Helping me remember what to talk about. Good stuff. Yeah. Trevor's saying happy birthday to Scotty. Yes, happy birthday, young number 4, Scott Wayne Barnes. Yeah, happy birthday. Jonathan Mobo's on your team, Bo. Yeah, there's your birthday present, Scott. Jonathan's on your team, my guy. Happy birthday from Monique. Also, I love it. Yeah. Most saying I'm with Casey Bannerman. A bit here, all the team's colors present and really, really well balanced: red, purple, black, silver, gold, and white. Yeah, I mean he knows this stuff. I mean he is impeccable with his designs, Casey Bannerman designs, and he knows a little bit about this realm of the world. And if he's signing up on it, it looks nice and clean. Well, I think so too. I'd say that the image is a very high quality. It's very well done by the graphic designer. It pops and it gets across what it's supposed to get across. Sometimes that's the most important thing when you're graphic designs is that it's got to portray what it's supposed to portray. Sometimes if it's too complicated or weird to try and work out, oh, that's what that means, that's not doing the job. You need it to make sense. And I think that this is good. I like how with the 30th anniversary logo, they incorporated the logo we have right now with the old, because this in the 0 of the 30, the current logo for the Raptors is in there, and the Raptor is biting on the thing. So we have the old Raptor on there. We've got some purple, we got some red, we got some black, and there is the new logo in the middle. A lot of people don't like this logo, the scratched ball logo, but do you realize why we have that logo at this point? We're not going to go back to the old dinosaur logo because it's too intricate and difficult to reproduce on merchandising. This is the whole reason why we switched to this different logo, is because the NBA wanted all the teams to simplify their logos so that printing and making merchandise like t-shirts and hats was easier. And with the Raptors logo, with the head and all the different colors and the different parts, that was way more difficult and more expensive to make gear for. So that's the whole entire reason why our logo is now just a ball with claw marks across it. And the NBA wanted all 30 teams to get subdued logos that made it easier to print merchandise. Now, that sounds like a really bullshit reason. I get it. But I honestly think that the design has grown on me since they started the ball with the claw marks across it logo. That in the beginning I was like, this is too basic. I don't even get what this is. In some ways, this is too similar to some other teams' logos. But now, like over time, I really do love that claw basketball. I really do. So Nako's saying I really need Mobo to be a high IQ version of Precious. I think that that's going to be true, but I don't know if he'll be the same talent level as Precious. In some ways, we've got to understand Precious has a certain level of ups on him that's not normal in the league. I don't know if Jonathan can jump like Precious can. There's other things that we've got to realize. Maybe Precious is stronger than Jonathan right now because he's further into his career, but Jonathan could be as strong as him down the road. I mean, I think it's going to be likely that Jonathan does have a better IQ on the court in certain ways, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Once again, I can't make any predictions about Mobo because we haven't seen him. We don't know how much is going to translate to the higher level. In some ways, he's going to need time on 905, y'all. He's going to need time on 905. In fact, if he plays most of this year on 905, that's probably for the best. Seriously. So let's not get too ahead with Jonathan. In some ways, if we're looking at the guys we just drafted, Jacoby Walter and Jamal Shedd are probably more ready to contribute and help the Raptors than Jonathan Ulrich. And those guys may need to go down to 905 and play more with the 905 team than on the regular team. Now, they'll get to play on the big team because they will. But it may be that Jonathan's not playing a whole lot on the regular Raptors, guys, just so you know. It depends. Maybe he will because Scotty really wants him there. So, yeah, most saying happy August. Yeah, happy August and happy birthday to Scotty Barnes. That's right. This is Scotty's birthday. That's right. Derps is here. Good to see Derps back in the chat. Precious is actually high IQ off the court, but yeah, not on the court. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I won't disagree with this. You know, Precious has a very interesting life. In some ways, he's kind of like Serge. He's a Renaissance man. He has a lot of varied interests. He's very interested in wine. That's one of his biggest interests. He's a refined guy. He's a smart guy. And I agree with this. I don't even think his IQ on the court was that bad. It's just that sometimes it's instincts. And his instincts may not be exactly the right thing at certain times. I always thought that people were way too critical of Precious when he was on the Raptors and didn't allow him to have the ability to fail sometimes and not make the right decision, because there were quite often he was making the right decision. So I'm a big fan of Achua's, and I don't want to slight him or anything like that. But I will say this: I do think Jonathan may be smarter than him coming in, seriously, because I listen to the way Jonathan talks and some of the things he's interested in, and his insight. He's a smart cookie. I'm gonna say that right now. Jay Nathan is a smart guy, and in some ways, I've heard him talk on Scotty's Twitch 2 years ago and different things, and he's a smart dude. Just trust me on this. He is, but in some ways, we're not trying to compare people's IQs on here. It's just they're different. They may look like each other. Jonathan got mistaken as Precious at a Shoppers Drug Mart in Scotty's rookie year, but that wasn't Precious. That was Mobo that was with Scotty that day. Yeah, he said, "Yeah, I'm Precious." He fooled them. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Precious. Hi, how are you do?" Trevor saying Australia 70, Canada 65 final. Also, Canada could be eliminated today. Depends on the outcome. France and Nigeria. All right, Trevor, you got to tell me what you're talking about. Women's, aren't you? Yeah, write that in, please. Once again, you can't just give me like blind scores, because you could mean the 3-on-3 has been going on right now too. Canada's 3-on-3 team is doing really well, and very interesting to see the women's team for soccer get to the next round, even with the 6-point penalty. Wow, that's a huge accomplishment by the Canadian senior women's soccer team. The fact that this scandal is going on and they're advancing still, that's something right there. That's amazing. Yeah. So you're saying the senior women's team is who you're talking about right here. So they lost to Australia. That's too bad. That's too bad. Derps is saying, is that WNBA? See, we don't know, Trevor. You got to clarify it for us, man. Put in the teams that are playing. Don't just give me scores, please. Please, please. So I know exactly. I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about, though. All right, let's see. Where are we in the chat? It went ahead real quick. Let's make sure we get every comment. Let's see. Monique saying Canada basketball women. Okay, she put it in. She clarified. Thank you, Monique, for clarifying. Butt Dials here. Good to see Kareem, our dunk champion. I know it's not basketball related, but that women's Canadian soccer team spotted the world 6 points and won 3 games to advance to quarterfinals. That deserves a medal in itself. Now, does this mean that the penalty that they have occurred has gone past and they don't have anything that is in their way like this? Like they overcame the odds and beat that 6-point deficit, and it's wiped out for the next round? I'd love to see that, because in some ways they have a good chance to gold medal again. And wow, and if they do win it again, some people will be really upset, I think, and they'll probably talk a lot of trash, and they'll probably say that they didn't think that they actually deserved it. So yeah, Tristan's here. He's saying, "Yo, I like the purple." I mean, I don't mind purple. In some ways, purple is the favorite color of some people in my life that really love purple. But that's the past, and I'm about going in the future. And all of the success the Raptors have had at the highest level is in red. And that's why I'm like, let's stick with the red. The Reds had a better winning percentage over the history of the Raptors franchise. You know, do you guys want to reclaim the purple, go through some tough rebuilding years of purple on Scotty's back, and then finally we'll get that percentage up? I'm like, no, no, you're going to give an old man like me PTSD. Y'all put that purple on that jersey too much, but I appreciate it, and I want to revisit it and see it from time to time, but I don't want to see it 82 games a season. No, I don't. No, I don't. And everybody's saying rebrand. Y'all shut up. They make new jerseys all the time for us. I even saw somebody in the comments saying, I want them to bring back the Raptors camouflage jerseys. No, why? Those were ugly as hell. That Jose Calderon camouflage jersey around that time. Who wants to see that come back? That was gross. It's like weird camouflage. It wasn't even good camouflage. So it's like, I don't know. Everybody's got their own boats that they like to float. And some people are going to be all about wanting the Raptors camouflage jersey back. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy stuff. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. Good morning to you, MJ. Holding it down in the Ottawa region for us in the capital. Bam, 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 dap, dap, dap. That's right. David dapping in. All right, David's here. Commissioner Trivia David is returned from his bridge tournament daily, and now we're at 9:33 on his DAP in. So we're gonna go ahead and do the classic card real quick. Let's see. Shake it up so they're all mixed up. They don't mix up when you do that, Lex. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, this will be fun. This is a card that I own in my collection, personally. And I don't know if you guys will get this one. We'll have to see. All right, classic card of the day. Write the full name in, and David will give you points. Who is that, guys? This is interesting. Interesting card. Of course, obviously, that is a player from the Miami Heat. Let's see if anybody can figure out who that is. I don't want to put it up too close. I guess I could. It may not matter if I put it up close. Let's see. Make sure I got my finger over the name. There we go. Smooth nose. Smooth is the classic card king, and that is Grant Andrew Long, former Miami Heat from Michigan, Wayne, Michigan, Eastern Michigan product. Not the most well-known Miami Heat alumni, but yeah, 100 points to Smooth for the classic card of the day. It's Grant Long, guys, on that second hoop set. The hoop set that came out the second year was in silver. And you can see Ron Rothstein in the background, his coach at the time, the Miami coach in the suit and tie. There you go. All right, good job. Smooth Brown Man, 100 points in the classic card of the day. Good job, man. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's see. Tommy is here. Good to see Tom Duke in the house. The Emoticon Giant. Look at that. He's got the 30th anniversary logo as one of our emotes in the chat right now. That's the real ones. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't get mad at us, Raptors, for using some of the iconic stuff for our emotes. It's just for fun. We're real diehard ones. But yeah, we got that 30th logo in there, Tommy. It looks real good. It looks real good. I love it. That's awesome. Good job, Tom. I'm going to give you a 3-pointer for the nimbleness of your Emoticon Giant prowess. There we go. 111. You're 111, man. Make a wish. 111 for Tommy Dookie. There you go. Fiercely saying, great words of wisdom, Trevor. Yeah, I agree with that. Fiercely saying, August is my birthday month. It is mine also, Fiercely. My birthday will be near the end of the month. Yeah, I'm a Virgo, but it is Leo season right now. That's right. Leo the lion. And Scotty is a lion. That's right. A king of the jungle. That's right. There we go. David's saying, I think the logo sucks. Not very original. Media people do better. David is come in and say he thinks the logo sucks and he thinks that they should do better. I don't know, David. I think you're being harsh. I think that they did a good job. But everybody can have their own opinion. Derps is saying Raps have the worst media in NBA, so no. Laugh out loud at Fiercey. They have the worst media in the NBA, so no? What do you mean? What do you mean? What are you talking saying that at Fiercey? What do you mean? She's saying great words of wisdom. I don't know. Either way, I don't agree with that. I mean, have you really gone in depth, Derps, and looked at some of the other teams and what the social media is doing and their graphic design and just like, you got to think about the whole branding of the Raptors experience. It's not just the visuals and the jerseys. It's the fan experience in the arena. It's the in-game ops. It's the stuff that Anton Wright's doing. It's the stuff that Four Corners is doing. It's the stuff that Strizzy's doing. You got to incorporate the whole image and the whole feel of it. And we are top notch. I'm sorry. This is just not true. You think that we're the worst media in the NBA? That's not true. You've got to go to other arenas and see how they do things. There's some really horrible designs out of Charlotte. Charlotte Hornets make horrible graphic arts designs all the time. You've got to think about this more clearly and understand we have quality to a lot of the shit that we're doing. I mean, the Welcome Toronto is classy. It's high level, like elite feeling OVO stuff with Drake and the owl and stuff. There's other teams that put on crazy weird shit like corn cob eating contests. And like, you got to understand how podunk some of those teams down south are with their graphic designs and how they do things. So I have to completely disagree with Derps saying we have one of the worst medias in the NBA. No. Don't get it twisted. You have to go and investigate all 30 teams before you say this. And when you go look at some of the other teams and how they do things, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, the Raptors are actually pretty good. I'm serious. I mean, after watching all the in-game ops around the league on League Pass, you can see that we're a class above a lot of other teams with what we're doing at games. And I would say the same thing about our graphics department. Seriously, seriously. David saying, welp. Smooth saying, happy early birthday, Fiercey. Are you a Leo? I'm going to guess she is a Leo. I'm going to guess. David saying, media, marketing, whatever. Yeah, see, Derps is saying, new logo isn't terrible, I would say. See, I think it's good. I think it's a good logo. I think that it once again, what is a logo supposed to do? It's supposed to get across a message. It's the 30th year of the Raptors. Boom. That's a Raptors looking logo and it says 30 on it. That's all you need. There you go. The colors are not that bad and they pop. They pop. It's a pop. And it's got multicolors to it. It's not just like two colors, which is interesting. Bryce is saying, what, Lex? I didn't get to experience that purple. Well, in some ways, listen, it'll come back for little tastes. You're going to get it this year, guys. You're going to get that purple. But you know what? The purple thing is so... I don't even know how to explain this to you guys. There's a shirt that I got when I used to work at the Air Canada Center in the early 2000s when Vince played for us. And it was said Purple Fever on it. And I still have it. It says Purple and Fever, and it's in Raptor logo stuff. And when I wear it only very specific times. I don't wear it very often anymore because in some ways I thought of Purple Fever as kind of being a scourge, as being a disease, as being kind of like, oh, this is not good. The purple around our team, I do not associate it with good things. Let's just put it this way, Bryce. I do not. I associate the red on our team with good things, like winning and going far in the playoffs and championship. And the purple I associate with disappointment, sadness, bad years. And that's why I caution all the young fans of the Raptors, let's not go back to that purple era. Seriously, the feel is not right. And in some ways, the purple opens up the door for jest and insults and people saying other stuff. Just trust me on this. The purple will bring back the purple dinosaur Barney shit. And we don't want that. We really, really don't want that. Just trust me on this. They still do it to us sometimes. Like you'll hear it in opposing arenas when our guys come out from the dressing room, they'll play the I love you, you love me kind of bullshit. See, I'm saying in some ways we shouldn't care. We like, all right, we'll listen to the stupid dinosaur Barney theme when we're coming out the arena. Who cares? But also at the same time, it's annoying. And a lot of press people, in some ways, we've carved out so much respect for our team over time, and we fought for it. You bring that purple back, journalists will start sliding us even more. Watch. They will, because they were around at that era too, and they understand. So that's the only reason why I'm saying you'll get purple for about 10 games this year. How about that, Bryce? Is that a compromise that you'll take? So you get about purple jerseys about 10 games this year. If they rebrand the team and there's absolutely just purple jerseys all year, and they decide to do that this year, so be it. But I'm going to guess right now, you're going to get about 10 to 12 games where you're going to get the purple throwbacks, something like that. Yeah, you'd love to see that purple. You guys want to see that purple. All right. Fiercely saying, I'm a Leo. Birthday's on August the 8th. All right, where is my calendar? I'm going to write that on here right now. Let's see. We got, okay, she got the same birthday as a couple people. We're going to put Fiercey on the calendar now for her birthday. Fiercey is on the 8th, a week from today. All right, we got you down there now, Fiercey, now that we know. Important milestone for me, so I'm wishing for health so that I can join my Raptor Freak family for years to come and celebrate the new chip. Next chip. There you go. I love that wish, Fiercey, and dap to you. I'm going to give you a 3-pointer for being a good fan. And yes, I wish the best health towards you and your upcoming new year of your birthday. And for sure, we want MJ around in Raptors Freak Nation for a long time, and many championships too. So, Fiercey, you're going to go to 166 on the dunk charts. Boom goes a Dynamite. I think she's second. It's either her or David right now. Tommy's saying, yeah, I love the color purple, just a color. Yeah. All right. And Adriana's in here too. And I know that she really loves the purple. I love the color purple. It will be good luck. See, this is where I differ with you guys. And in some ways, you know what? Adriana is the one who's been able to try and argue it over to me as far as the purple thing. I mean, listen, purple is a royalty color. It's a royal color. In some ways, there are a couple of teams that are using purple in the league, and we're using it before we used it. And like the Lakers, the Kings. It's tough, man. I mean, I get nostalgic too. I love nostalgia. But this is just a weird thing for me that I really do see at different eras of the Raptors by the color. And I really, oh man, the pain of the 90s and how we were on selling tickets from Shoppers Drug Mart And going to the games and seeing like Damon Stoudemire, Marcus Camby era Raptors. You guys, I mean, if you weren't there and you can't understand just how futile and how much losing we did, it's hard for me to explain. It's hard for me to explain. But y'all believe in that color and you want that color back? Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not in control of this. I can only voice my own personal opinions. And if we all differ on different opinions and stuff like that, that's fine too. That's fine too. So you guys, it's just a color, as Tom's saying. It's just a color, Lex. What does it matter? It's just a color. And David's saying, let's go, perps. Perps? That sounds bad, like you're a perpetrator. Let's go, perps. Are we a criminal gang? I don't know. Nako's saying, I don't think we were that bad when we had the white purple dinosaur jerseys. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Gerald? No, we were bad right up until Vince showed up. We were not a good team. We were winning 20 games a season, 18 games one year. No. When we had the white purple jersey, dinosaur jerseys. Now, see, the white jersey was never purple. The white jersey is with white with black pinstripes and a red dinosaur on there. That's the thing. The dinosaur's always been red, guys. The dinosaur was never purple. The dinosaur has been red on that jersey the whole entire time. And there were the two that was red and white, and it was purple and red were the two different colors. The red dinosaur always on there with a white background or a purple background. So that's kind of the way it's been. Look, I don't mind revisiting and seeing our current players wear the throwbacks is fun. But I don't want it to be a regular, like, overall scheme of things. That's what I'm trying to say here. Do you understand? Like, I don't mind doing a couple of special alumni games where we wear throwback jerseys, but I don't want them to be our regular day-to-day, everyday jerseys. I like the ones we got. You can tinker with them and change them around a little bit in certain ways, but the color scheme and the way the jerseys are, to me, are the right way right now. They really are. In some ways, they're getting more and more ensconced as the Raptors' signature jersey in their history is that red chevron with the black chevron, the red jersey with the black chevron. So I don't really like the black jerseys with the red on it. In some ways, that's not as my favorite jersey. I like the red jerseys more. Let's keep going. Smooth saying it's the Mitchell and Ness Vince Carter effect, man. That jersey is a top 3 seller of merchandise. Yeah, they just like the idea of it because it's different. In some ways, it's a throwback. In some ways, it makes you think about Vince and his dunking. In some ways, it's just like it's so different than most jerseys in the history of the NBA. That's part of it, too. Some people like that there's a character on it. I think that's part of it. It's like, oh, the Raptors on the jersey. That's pretty cool. I think that's a big part of it right there. In some ways, you guys got to understand, people thought those jerseys were the ugliest jerseys in the world when they came out. Some people, they're like, oh, this jersey is too weird and crazy. But over time, they've become beloved. It's crazy. And I agree. It's probably the merchandise people bring them back at specific times and, they go crazy. Yeah. Happy birthday to SB4 from our guy, Isaac Campbell, holding it down in Ottawa, the benevolent one, Isaac. And there's Tommy Dookie with Scotty and the cake. I love to see that, Tommy, in his emoticon language. He's got Scotty with the cake. Scotty, hopefully having a very good birthday already. And he's just going to have a fantastic day all day today. That's right. Brian's here from To The Point. What up, Freak Nation? Hope y'all loving the new logo. I think it's pretty good. I like it. 2 thumbs up from Lex. 2 thumbs up from me. Good job, Raptors. Good job, Raptors graphic designer. It could have been a lot of different things. I could say it could have been way worse, y'all. Think about that. Maybe it's not perfect. I think it's perfect. I think it's fine. I think it's absolutely perfect. It blings. It looks high quality. It looks real sharp. I mean, that's all we want, right, David? Come on now. Some people will say, "Oh, it looks weird," but I like the balance of it. Nago saying, "I wouldn't mind a jersey with a TR with the raptor biting it." Yeah, that old TR logo, we had it for a while around the Bosch era. Nako, I had an old purple Raptors hat that had the TR on the side, and it had that same thing, like the raptor biting on it. So, I mean, I think if they're going to do a logical progression as we have anniversaries, they should go cycle back to old jerseys that have been out of stock for a while and come back to them. So that's why I think it's the purple front black back this year. But who knows? Maybe there's a Bosch era jersey that is a throwback for like the 40th anniversary, something like that. So I feel like that's how the pattern's showing so far with the 20th and 25th anniversaries. And now in the 30th anniversary, we can move it to the Vince era, and then maybe the next couple of years it's another Vince era jersey, and then a Chris Bosh era jersey. And then all of a sudden we're going through the DeMar and Kyle era jerseys in the 2010s. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes over the years. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. David's saying I'm a Uber around the city and collect every jersey. Laugh out loud. I mean, what you can get. I mean, oh man, if you can get those championship jerseys, the white ones, the red ones with the white chevron, oh my gosh, or not given ones, that's the best jersey in the Raptors history, as far as I'm concerned. Other people can like the original jersey. Nah, the best jersey is the one Kawhi wore, the one we won in, the one that Freddie wears when he was bleeding out the eye. Yeah, that is the right jersey right there. Fiercely saying, I actually like purple. Fun fact, or maybe not, purple is the color of sexual frustration. Yikes. That's interesting. I have not ever heard that about purple. I've heard royalty. I've heard what's another thing that purple kind of stands for? Maybe like excellence or something. Like, obviously the purple is always the robe of the king or something like that. It's the royal color in the old school way. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting though. Sexual frustration. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, Davis got it on blast. Maybe that's why the Lakers are having so much trouble. Let's see. Smooth saying, I don't like the chevron, man. It's not a good look, respectfully. I like the purple and blue with Toronto across the front. Purple and blue? What do you mean? Purple and blue? Hmm. You mean like the old Huskies jerseys? Because when we wear blue, it's allusion to our very first year in the NBA as the Huskies in the very first year of the NBA. We wear those old blue jerseys. That's Huskies jersey. That's interesting. Yeah, some people don't like the chevron. I do, just because it's on our way up. We're on our way up, and I like the subliminals of that. That in some ways, it's like if our jerseys are pointing up, well, our team should be on the way up, just in a subliminal kind of like environment way. If it was pointing down, I would be like, yeah, I don't like it. If the chevron was a V, I would be like, yeah, I don't like these jerseys. But because it's pointing up, it's a symbolic thing to me. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Dana's saying, good morning, everyone. She's got the logo on blast. Look at that. Canadian Dana putting the 30-year logo on blast. I like it. Let's see. David's saying, I like the old days where the teams had a logo on the jersey. Many don't anymore. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the jerseys in the NBA have changed so much over the time. In some ways, they have so many different ones that they wear now each year. We've had so many crazy different fonts, like that Miami jersey that had like they were like a kidnapper's letter or something like that. There's so many different crazy jerseys. And the other thing about the jerseys for NBA teams is it's not about having your team colors anymore. I've seen the Orlando Magic wearing colors like they're the Phoenix Suns. I've seen teams wear like color schemes that just were never ever a part of their actual team. So it's weird. The jerseys are kind of a free for all at this point. I kind of like this old solid, like established kind of jerseys. Like the Pistons would have a very established jersey for a while. Of course, the Celtics have their jersey look that they've had all along. In some ways that is something nice because it does kind of bridge the different eras together, because you're kind of wearing the same. The Bulls, another team that very much has an iconic jersey that they've kind of tried to keep around, just partly because of the luster and the prestige of Michael Jordan. So, in some ways, I want to build that around our team, and switching the jersey too often doesn't allow for that kind of a feel to our team. And I feel like the chevron, even if a lot of people don't like it, is the best kind of look as far as like the Celtic jersey, the Bulls jersey, the Laker jersey, those certain looks to those franchises in the thread of their jerseys. Some people say, well, let's not make it that one, Lex. Let's make a different one instead of the chevron design. Well, I mean, we can all disagree in certain ways. The Lakers have that certain font of Lakers across their jersey. The Celtics have that very plain white, like Celtics on their green jerseys. That's what I'm talking about. I want something like that. Like the Bulls have the red on the white, that kind of thing. And it has to be built over time. And if you switch them out too much, you don't really have a set identity for a long period, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Bryce is saying purple jerseys with a white chevron. Now, see, I can do this because in some ways, if they want to get creative and mash up old with new, listen, if the purple jersey don't look like the old purple jersey, maybe I will get around wearing purple again.
I don't want it to be exactly the same jerseys as before. If they do incorporate purple in our jerseys more in the next couple of years, as long as it's a new era look, I can get behind it. How about that, guys? That's my compromise. All right. I just don't want to go full throwback. It's like, if you want to use purple again in our jerseys, let's make it look a new era, is what I would say. I don't know, man. This is going to be a good workshop for Raptors graphic designers and possible jersey ideas that come in and listen to Raptor Freaks today, as far as like ideas for the future. Yeah. All right, Bryce. Purple jerseys with the white chevron. That's interesting. It's very, very interesting. David's got that purple on blast. Ran up saying, morning blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Do not let other people's opinions or determine who you truly are. All of us are uniquely special. Yeah, I'm not a taste for everyone. I'm a specific taste. And y'all enjoy me. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. And yeah, different people going to have different opinions about you. We shouldn't be people pleasers and trying to be a catch-all, like, well, I just make everybody happy. No, just be yourself and be happy. And your people will come and gravitate to you. And the people that don't, well, good. They should stay away. That's what I was saying right there. Name is saying, buongiorno tutti. Hola. Hola, Italiano teacher. Nameless. I hope that you're doing very well. Hopefully you've got some time off. You're not working right this moment. And I hope you're doing very well. David's saying, buongiorno a ti, fratello. Yes. Yeah, Mike Fratello. Yes. Fiercely saying, hi, Nameless. It's been a while. Yeah, he's been busy. He's in Scotty Barnes trade school for plumbing, and he's out there being an Italian plumber in the great world of Mario and Luigi. That's right. Hi, Nameless. It's always good to see him. Buongiorno. That's right. He's laughing. Derps is saying, where art thou, oh Larry? Masai is probably, yeah, this is the thing. Masai wants to trick his brain into thinking he never win the Larry O'Brien, because then it keeps him hungry. In some ways, that's why people always say it's hard to repeat as an NBA champion, because you've reached the climb to the top and you've made it. And in some ways, are you hungry enough to try and make it again and keep that? And well, Masai's just tricking his brain. He's saying, yeah, we didn't win, guys. We have not won yet. We got to do it still. That's what he's doing. And I totally respect that, because it really does keep a competitive edge for him as the president of the Raptors, that he's not resting on his laurels and saying, yeah, we won, guys, and we're good. No. He's saying, we didn't win yet. I want to get the second one. And that's Masai right there. It's amazing. Yeah. Nameless saying that 30th logo is so dope. See, he likes it. His mind's blown. Yeah, I like it too. I think it was very good. My first reaction was good, and that's usually good. Yeah. Mike's here. Good to see Logical Raptors fanatic. Project Truth always. Mike fighting the good fight for the truth about the Raptors on his YouTube channel. It goes deep. That Masai video talks on a lot. It does go very deep. It's very, very good. Bloomberg does some good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to it. There's the financials and the economic reporting. But then there's also the personal stuff about Masai, and also his whole what he's doing over there and how he looks at it is very, very deep. And there's a lot of repercussions. In some ways, Masai Ujiri transcends being just the president of the Toronto Raptors. And he's somebody who's a power player that has an impact around the world globally. And he's going to be known for other things other than just running the Raptors in the long run. Watch. He's going to be known for like very, very important work that he's done in Africa. Seriously. That's right. David's saying Masai should run for PM. I won't disagree with that. I mean, I don't know. In some ways, I wish, in some ways, I don't know. I don't know if he'd ever do that. Like, I know he'd be a very good politician, and he probably could do it, and he would do a good job. But I think that in some ways, for him to do the things that he wants to do, to take care of the things that he wants to do, that would be the wrong direction in some ways, as far as I think. But you know what? He could do it. In some ways, Canada could use him, a guy like him being the prime minister for sure. So, I mean, I wouldn't be against this, but it's only if Masai gave the nod that he want to do that. And then all of a sudden, Ujiri, I'll turn into a political channel pushing for you to become prime minister. So that's the thing. I'm going to be a PR for Masai Ujiri in the front office of the Raptors no matter what. And yeah, if he wants to be the prime minister of Canada, I would start campaigning for him immediately. I really would. Tom Duke's got oh, wow, he's put the old purple jersey in there, winning. Look at that. That's the throwback right there. That's the original 20th anniversary throwback jersey that Kyle Lowry and them wore that season. The purple wasn't exactly right, though. It was a different color purple than the original purple. In fact, it was a more attractive purple. The throwback, the new one the one that they wore in the 20th season. The old purple was ugly, ugly, ugly. So they did reshade our purple a little bit over the years. It's not the exact shade of purple that we used to use, guys. So we have a more attractive color of purple than the one we originally used in the 90s. In some ways, that's part of the reason why the jerseys on the down low look better now and that people like them more now, is because the shade of purple in the old jerseys was not as good as the one that they're using now. It is slightly different, guys. You can go and look at the two and you'll see what I'm talking about. They're darker. The jerseys that we used in the 20th anniversary season were actually a darker shade of purple. Yeah. Yeah. Bon dia logical. DAP. Yeah, there we go. And there's the barbecue right there next to the 30th. I love it. Winning. There we go. Let's get it. There we go. Tom Duke saying, get that off only for today. There you go. He's doing the Casey Bannerman. They're only here while they last. The jerseys only for today. Tommy's being the emoticon giant. He's saying, listen, guys, you got that emoticon to do the purple dinosaur jersey, but only for today. So get it today. He's doing the Casey Bannerman. While supplies last. There you go. You guys are laughing. Yeah, Tommy's getting a dap from David and Nameless Tom Ducarello. Let's fucking go. That's right. There you go. I love it. Look at all that. Quantum's here. We the North. That's right, Quantum. Boss taking charge, helping athletes get the best out of their bodies. You go. We the North. That's right. Nameless saying, laugh out loud. The 30th emoji. How you guys are geniuses. Yeah. Yeah, that is the real logo, Nameless. And Tommy is such a great emoticon giant. He has established it as our emoticon for right now. It's so good. So good. Tommy's so good at the emoticon world. So good at it. Yeah, there's Mo with the whole team on blast. There's 30th. There's her, me, Scotty, Emmanuel, RJ, Bobby Webster, Darko, and Masai. I love that. Look at that lineup. That is Raptors world right there, baby. Look out. G saying Norman is in Toronto for the Pro-Am. That's right. Tonight, down at the Metropolitan University of Toronto, downtown at a gym. Norman Powell returns to our great country of Canada, a former Toronto Raptor champion. He will take the court against, he's on the Toronto team, apparently. He's going to be representing our city on the Toronto team against the other team. Chris Boucher will be there also playing tonight, and so will Bones Highland of the NBA. Those are the three big names announced for this Toronto Pro-Am game going on tonight. So if you're in Toronto downtown and you're near the Metropolitan University, I don't know the exact location where it is. You can go and see Norman play in Pro-Am. He's going to throw it down nice. Watch. Norm's going to come back and give a show for the fans. And he is a very important Raptor in our history. And in some ways, we need to celebrate and applaud Norman. In some ways, I'm very happy he's come back for this, because I've been a little dubious about Norman and his feelings about Canada and Toronto, and him coming back and representing our championship team and being on Team Toronto in this game. It really means a lot, Mr. Powell. I'm going to say this right now. There is a different kind of thing that happens after you leave the Raptors. We want to make sure you're still proud of your connection to us. And the fact that you take the time to come up here and play in this game tonight means a lot, Norm. I'm going to say that right now. It means a lot. So hopefully y'all go down there and cheer him on if you can. That's right. Mike's saying African politics is messy, but I think it's interesting how Masai can focus on his mission and brokers deals with power players. I understand what Bobby meant when he says Masai handles the brawny stuff. Yeah. I mean, look, this is bigger than basketball. This is about culture. This is about economics. This is about a country of people that are trying to make a better lives for themselves. And giving opportunity through sports is the whole thing about this. Sure, we can get bogged down in the history of the guy who's running Rwanda. We can get bogged down in all that kind of stuff. But Masai has a focus, and that's on improving people's lives and countries in Africa as far as through basketball, whether it's through facilities and training and providing jobs for people. You know, you put a basketball league down there, and all of a sudden there's people getting employed, and there's some economics being driven, and things start up. You know, it could very well be that, you know, for a long, long time, people saw the potential of that continent for basketball, but it scared them. They're like, man, if we start training people over here too much, they could come over and take over our league because they're such amazing athletes. There's a lot of that in some ways of holding that back. And then we're still feeling it in some ways, the ignoring of Shamshay, and also kind of on the down low, this article that came out on ESPN critical of the NBA working with Rwanda. So, yeah, it's a very interesting situation. In some ways, the established NBA status quo is scared of Giants of Africa. Let's just put it that way. In some ways, they are. They're scared of it. And in some ways, that pipeline is going to be very good in the years to come. And they know that Masai and the Raptors are in the right key spot to have the best opportunities to get some of these guys like Shamshe. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting over time. Masai has tunnel vision. The things that matter to him are improving the sport of basketball on that continent and providing economic opportunities for people that live there. That's what it's all about for him. Forget about, he's not, in some ways, that guy who's the president of Rwanda, he's problematic, but Masai works with him in the right areas of things. And in some ways, not everybody's perfect. And it's not, I don't know. Where do you draw the line? Everybody's got freaking baggage at this point. Seriously, in different ways. Seriously. Mike's saying the Bargnani Bosch Calderon red wasn't great. Not going to lie. Yeah, maybe we don't need to see that one come back. Yeah, that one was kind of the early Chevron design. That was the early Chevron. It was kind of like on the sides. They had the starting of the Chevron, and then it kind of came around and up and over at a certain point. Yeah. Trevor's saying Caribbean weekend in Toronto. You guys are going to have fun. Oh, Caravana. It's Caravana because it's the first week of August. There you go. Hopefully Scotty's in town. Maybe he can do the Grady Dick this year and get in the floats and ride down the float. You talk to Jamal McGlure, Scotty Barnes, and get yourself on a float. In some ways, I know you've said, I can't be out in public. I can't go to places like Canada's Wonderland because they'll mob me. Well, if you have the parade floats around you and the parade, they shouldn't be able to get to you if you're up on the parade. And everybody can wave to you and show you love. So think about it, Scott. It'd be a lot of fun if you did what Grady did last year at the Caravana Parade. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Good job getting the classic car of the day smooth. That's not a very well-known Miami Heat player. So that is very, very, very impressive, honestly. Yeah, there you go. Smooth Brown Man, a.k.a. Ahmad Rashad. Let's see. Stargate saying August 28th here, Virgo. All right, so Stargate and I have almost the same birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and put him down on here since we're getting all the birthdays. If anybody else has a birthday this month and they want me to add them to the Raptor Freak birthday chart, tell me now, because I've added Fiercey and Stargate now. And if there's anybody else who has an August birthday, mine is the 26th, just so y'all know. I don't know why I'm going to put my name on here, but I'm going to go ahead and put mine on here. Just to put it on here. Let me put Lex on my own birthday. Like, I don't know that it's my birthday. Let's see. Mike's saying the logo is combo of our current logo and Retro Raptor biting it. Yeah, and Seymour's like, pause, Mike. Biting what? Yeah. No, I like the crossover. In some ways, it shows the current state and it has the allusions to the past. And I like the melding of the old and the new. It's a good idea. Yeah. Seymour's got you with a pause, though. Randolph saying, happy birthday blessings to everyone celebrating in this month of August. Health, wealth, love, joy, peace, happiness, and prosperity to you, Scotty Barnes. Happy birthday to Scotty today. 23rd birthday of our great franchise face, Scotty Wayne Barnes. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. That's right. Let's go, Scott. That's right. It's your birthday. That's right. We're going to have your birthday all year because you're going to be kicking so much butt. That's right. Kareem saying, give me the new logo minus the Raptor over the scratched ball and the purple and white jerseys with the pinstripes. Something old, something new, and something with purple. I like that. He's making the allusion to wedding things like something old, something new, and something blue. Yeah, but he wants to do something old, something new, and something purple. Yeah, I can get behind this. In some ways, look, we don't want to go straight up old retro. We do want to have elements of our current state of affairs somewhere in there. And that's why I really do like the new logo in the middle of the 0 on the 30th logo. I really, really do like that. Yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying, I want wins. I want wins. That's what I want too. In some ways, I want to win. If we win in purple jerseys, okay, I'll like them again. But in some ways, if they bring back purple jerseys, we're at the beginning of rebuild and we're playing and we're losing a lot, I might have some post-traumatic stress from like the 90s. Seriously, y'all. If we're going to have bad games, like some of the games at the end of the season last year, and we're going to be wearing purple, y'all, I'm going to feel like I'm back in Nam. All right. Just so y'all know. Seriously. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. Seymour saying, I want wins. That's right. I want wins too. Randolph saying, Lex, Gordon Hayward retires after 14 seasons. It's been an incredible ride. This is interesting. I mean, this is interesting. I'm not surprised by this. I mean, in some ways, Gary Trent Jr. and him had in a little ran into each other a couple seasons ago, and Gordon was out for the whole season after that, and his wife was talking all this angry smack talk to Gary Trent Jr. because of his role and how he fell on Gordon Hayward. I think this was even in a preseason game or something. It's very early in the season. Yeah, I mean, he's been having injury-prone problems since he showed up in the NBA. In some ways, he had his best years right off the bat, and in some ways, he never really found a good, healthy stretch for most of his career. That's too bad. In some ways, it's sad to hear, but also he's in that weird area of his career where they're discarding a lot of vets at this point, and there may be not a lot of interest in him. That may be part of what's happening here too, is that teams weren't calling him and they weren't interested. So he's like, yeah, I'm just going to retire. I'm just going to retire. Mike's saying, I think a 1-year anniversary official logo is new. I don't think any other team has done that. Masai leading the way. No, this is not true. All these teams do this. When the franchises around the league have their anniversary seasons, they use logos. They do all kinds of stuff. I've seen Orlando Magic logos for anniversary logos like crazy. Of course, they're 89 when they started. So they're like 5-6 years ahead of us. So they did their 30th season like 6 years ago. And I remember them having a 30th anniversary logo for the Orlando Magic. So, Mike, we just don't see them ourselves, but they're all around the arenas for those other teams. And if you pay attention, you'll see them. You will see them. So we're not original in that case. No, other teams have done this. I mean, the Celtics did like a 50th anniversary season at some point. They do the anniversaries with the NBA because they've been in the NBA as long as the NBA's been in the NBA. Them and the Knicks. So it's like if it's the 75th anniversary of the NBA, well, it's also the 75th anniversary of the Celtics. Although they were in leagues before the NBA, so they may even do like 100-year celebration soon. The Celtics, seriously, because they're like the Leafs. The Leafs were in a form before the NHL. And they have a history before. It's like St. Pat's or whatever. Well, the Celtics have a similar thing with their history, that they were a team that existed before the NBA existed. So there's definitely other teams do this. We're not innovators on this. Most saying the in-season tournament court is major fire and stop at Derps. What do you mean? What's Derps doing? Derps is cool. I have no problem with Derps. Am I on a top chat and I'm missing different chat stuff? Is that what's going on here? I'm gonna have to make sure I don't miss any comments here. Let me see. Is Derp saying something that I didn't see? All right, let's see. Back on here. Yeah, the in-season tournament court is major fire. I haven't seen it yet. Did they just release it or something like that? Did they just come out with the in-season tournament thing? I don't know. I better look. No. I don't see anything right now, but if there is something, I'm sure I'll see it at some point. All right, let's keep going. Seymour saying, I'm not missing the damn classic card today. Last 3 I missed, they were easy as F. Yeah. Well, here it is. And Smooth already got it. I'm sorry. Yeah, he got it already. You did miss it. Yeah, where is it at? Yeah, it's already gone, Seymour. Grant Long was the card. Yeah, you got to get here right on time. When David shows up, I'm doing the card, just so you know. Bryce is saying 10 games of purple sounds good to me. There you go. It may be even more. It could be 15. Could be something like that. Seymour saying DeMar and McDaniels got us circled on their calendar. Why? Because they're on Sacramento together. I don't think Jalen McDaniels has any ill will towards us. I really feel like Jalen McDaniels is just kind of living life. He's kind of one of these guys who's so talented. He's like, yeah, I'm a basketball player. I play in the NBA and I make money. But it's very shallow. It's like, it's not a very deep thing. He's like, yeah, I'm in the NBA, guys. Like if he was more in depth in his life, I think he'd be better. Is what the problem is. I don't think that Jalen McDaniels cares enough about anything in his life that he'd be mad at the Raptors. How does that sound? Now, DeRozan, I don't know. I don't think he has anything against us. I think that he just competes against everybody the same way. Maybe it's a little extra special when he's competing against us. I don't know. Tommy's saying 10 guaranteed wins in the purple dinosaur jerseys. We'll see. Shannon saying, "Good morning, my Canadian brothers." Good morning to you, Shannon. RJ fan number one. I like the current Raptors jerseys. They just seem more powerful. Plus, red represents Canada. See, I like this too, and I can get behind Shannon on this totally. The chevron, in some ways, is like a military kind of like rank thing. Like they have them on their shoulders. Like they have the little chevrons that like show rank and show like how you've done. In some ways, that's part of what I don't know. In some ways, I have an affinity for when we've won, and that jersey is the one that's synonymous with winning a lot, and that's why I kind of like the jerseys, the ones that we're wearing when we win. I mean, that's how I feel, and I think that Shannon's exactly right. Red is the color of Canada, and red needs to be the primary color of the Raptors. In some ways, it's a very smart marketing change that in the beginning, if the Raptors had made red their primary color, in some ways the Vancouver Grizzlies may have been like, wait, whoa, we're two teams in Canada. But now the Grizzlies have been gone, the Raptors kind of running in and getting the color red for their team and becoming more of Canada's team is part of it. That's part of what it symbolizes to me, is that at a certain point Vancouver lost their team and the Raptors became the only team in Canada, and red became more primary color for us. So that just makes sense to me. Mike saying, Lex, I think you're going too deep into the color. Gretzky called the Devils Mickey Mouse organization once. The Devils eventually won, and no one cares how teams were looked at before. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm superstitious. Maybe I'm a weirdo as far as like I have rituals in my own life that I try and keep good luck for myself by doing. I don't know. In some ways, maybe I am being too like this is too much, Lex. You're looking into the colors of the Raptors jerseys and associating that with winning and losing. The color of the jersey is not going to matter whether they're winning or not. It's the roster and how good they are. I mean, I get what y'all are saying. It's just that in some ways, I'm a weirdo in this way. I don't know. In some ways, you're right. I should just relent and not care and just be like, Raptors going to wear whatever they're going to wear. I'm going to cheer for them no matter what. But I don't know if we can have a think tank and we can espouse our different opinions on things. That's good because then we're talking it out. And, this is gold for Raptors organization. They get free feedback from watching the Raptor Freak channel every day and hearing the different opinions from different Raptor fans. Then they can kind of figure out what to cater to make for us. In some ways, we know if they have an ear to us, this is actually a place where we can sound off and we might actually get what we want. So, I mean, if we have things that we like and we espouse them here, who knows? Maybe they do come true down the road because they're like, yeah, the Raptor Freaks are real ones and they're real fans. And we want to really take care of our real fans. And in some ways, this is what matters to those guys in there. Then we'll keep this into account with what we're doing. So let's see. Seymour saying John Wallace era. Yeah, John Wallace. That's a great, not very commonly talked about Raptor that was important at that time. In some ways, John Wallace is a player in the Raptors history that gave me hope, that made me really feel like we were starting to be more powerful because he was a winning player for us. We didn't win a whole lot when he was around, but he played in a certain way that was trying to elevate us and bring us up. Before even Vince got here, John Wallace had huge games for us where he carried us and he made me feel inspired that, you know what, the Raptors are going to be all right. He was one of those guys early on. Sure, Stoudemire in the beginning, Damon, but John Wallace was probably the second guy who came in that made me feel like the Raptors could be capable. Yeah, that's an interesting era back then. Shannon's saying, I agree with your feeling about the purple, Lex. I don't like it either. It doesn't seem serious to me. Please don't make my guys RJ and IQ wear that all season. There you go. See, this is Knicks fan who loves RJ and IQ, who's a part of our nation because of our guys. And he's saying that he doesn't want his guys to wear the old purple because in some ways he looks at it the same way I do. That's very interesting, Shannon. And thank you for your opinions. Not just because you're kind of agreeing with me. I appreciate you sounding off because your opinion matters too. You're Raptors Nation too with your guys here. Mike's saying we had 10 years of bad red. 2006 to 2016 never made the second round until 16. VC and purple went to the second round. AI versus VC was in the purple era. And Seymour wants a dunk for logical. I mean, I get what you're saying, but also, Mike, I put the whole trauma of Vince with the purple. So, and then there's the early Bosch with the purple. That's really, really, Now Now I get it, but the whole red climb got to somewhere. That's the thing. The early red stuff, yeah, it was the beginning. Calderon, Bosch, TJ Ford. But then when we got into, I would say the red up until 2016, you can't say that's unsuccessful because we were making climbing progress strides from like the record. As Casey came in and he got a really bad record the first year, and then he made a better record every year after that. So in some ways, the build of the red at that time, I don't take it as a bad time from, let's say, pretty much from Masai until 2016. So you can say 10 years of it, but I don't see 10 years of it in my head. I see like maybe 4 or 5 years of bad red jerseys. And then the rest of it was on the climb getting towards the championship. And I incorporate that whole period since Masai showed up as part of the build to get the championship. So let's see. Yeah, you want a dunk for Mike? I'll give a dunk to Mike for sure. Let's see. Where's Mike? I'm going to give him actually a 3-pointer. Why not? We're going to give him a 3-pointer. You're at 78, Mike. 78 dunks for Logical Raptors Fanatic. Let's see. Mo's saying it's a joke, but the new Raptors intro song should be Purple Rain by Prince, like the beginning of the song. You know, I won't hate on this. I think that's kind of cool. And I saw that you posted it on your Facebook. Monique's like all about the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Yeah, I will sing Purple Rain at karaoke. Seriously, I will sing the hell out of it. Even the parts where he freaks out and he's singing like so emotionally. Oh, you see Lex sing that part where Prince sings on Purple Rain. He's like, I gotta warm up and get there. Yeah, but I can do that. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. You know, there's different intro songs when people come out. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. You know, some people use in Dallas they use Eminence Front. It's an Eminence Front. It's a put on by the Who. You know, of course, classically Chicago was using Cirrus, Alan Parsons band for their opening to build that stuff. I don't know. Purple Rain, it could work actually, but I think that there's a team in the league that would be mad at us for doing this, and they probably already used this song. I'm not gonna lie, it's Minnesota. And in some ways, anything Prince has to be there first, especially since Prince was a huge Timberwolves fan. So in some ways, us using Prince for anything for our team is not right, because I know that Prince actually liked the Raptors too, though. He did actually like the Raptors too, but he loved Minnesota Timberwolves way more. In fact, there's more stories that have come out in recent years about Prince and the Timberwolves and how much he was watching them, and he was a super fan of the Timberwolves. Kevin Garnett came out in a podcast and said recently Prince would have him to his house, and it was just like the Rick James sketches, the Prince sketches on Dave Chappelle's show. That whatever Charlie Murphy and them talking about Prince's lifestyle, like the pancakes and the playing the basketball and him taking his shirt off and all that kind of stuff, is exactly what Prince was doing, apparently, according to Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett went to his house and went and hung out with him all night after a game once. And it was exactly what is portrayed on Chappelle's show. That Prince came out there, he took his shirt off and he kicked their ass. Like, he's a little dude, but he could play some basketball. And then he fed them afterwards. And he said that they're out there playing on the court, and like he has musicians around the court playing music around them while they're playing on the court. And he'd run over and like pick up the guitar and just like jam out real quick in between like baskets. So yeah, that stuff from Chappelle's show is true about Prince, and he's Timberwolves Nation. In some ways, Minnesota would be mad at us if we start using Prince as an intro. Trust me, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying the other purple one I got is with the all black back. Yeah, that's the one I think they're gonna use this year. That's the one I think they're gonna use this year, Seymour. The one from the Vince era that was purple on the front and the half of the on the back was black. Yeah, that's a jersey. I have quite a few of those jerseys. I have a Muggsy one of those. I have the Jerome Williams one. Yeah, I have the Alvin Williams one too. So yeah, those were the ones that were on my wall back at the old place that were behind me. Mike's saying 2016 was a purple year. Winder's finger. 2016 was a Winder's year. Winder's year. It's 2016. Yeah, but that was like, it wasn't the whole year was, Mike. They only wore those purple dinosaur jerseys for select games. They wore their regular jerseys most of the year, just so you know. Stargate saying, I really don't care about jerseys. I just want this team to win and be as successful as possible. Jerseys are inconsequential to all that. It's basketball, not a fashion show. Yeah, I agree. I agree with this fundamentally, but I feel like, this is a Raptors channel. We're going to cover everything. We have to have this discussion. In some ways, we're the fans and it's important, but I agree. I don't think RJ Barrett cares what jersey he's going to put on this year. He's going to put on a jersey. He's going to go out there and play how he's going to play and try and win. In fact, I'm sick of this shade on RJ. There's a couple of places where RJ got shaded again in the last day or so. Basketball News, which is a basketball outlet, apparently covering the FIBA. I don't know. I don't think they're on this continent. I think they're somewhere else. They've got their facts totally fucked up. They do a really nice article on Canada beating Australia and talking all this stuff about, Canada won behind the leadership of the New York Knicks, RJ Barrett. Who the fuck are you, Basketball News, that you do not understand that RJ got traded? And you're still saying stuff like the Knicks have a great young forward in RJ Barrett. Who's your fact checker? Who's checking out things? Because motherfucker, he does not play for the Knicks. He plays for the Raptors. So any news outlets that are saying RJ Barrett, the New York Knicks still, y'all need to get updated. And in some ways, y'all look real bad when you are not factually reporting correctly. The other thing that's interesting that came out this morning that's kind of slighting RJ, that's pissing me off, is on a FIBA official Twitter account. They're asking, who are your MVPs at the Paris Olympics for basketball? And they've got a graphic up, and they've got Rui Hachimura, Victor Wembanyama, Santi Aldama, Josh Giddey, Jose Alvarado, Carlik Jones, Franz Wagner, somebody from Brazil. It's not Bruno. Jokic, Giannis, LeBron, and SGA. They've got one guy from each team, but RJ's not on there. And in fact, right now, RJ is the leading candidate to win MVP at the Olympics right now for his performance and his stats. But RJ's not on there. And then when you click on it to go vote, he's like way down in the voting. But he is in there. So y'all go and do this. Go vote for this, seriously. Because we got to get our Canadian guys up higher in this ranking because they're getting disrespected. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. And you guys go vote for this. Seriously, it's bullshit. You can see who's winning right now. Right now at the very top, and it's popularity. LeBron, number one. Leo Mendel. I don't even know who that is for Brazil. How the hell is he two? It must be a bunch of Brazilian people that are voting right now. Number 3, Kevin Durant. Number 4, Giannis. Number 5, Jose Alvarado. Like Jose Alvarado ain't going nowhere, so it's obvious that people in South America and Puerto Rico are voting like crazy. Carlik Jones, number 6. Tremont Waters, number 7. Yeah, Puerto Rico's overvoting. Then we got Wenyen Gabriel. So South Sudan's getting good votes too. Wembanyama, number 9. Jokic, number 10. Dennis Schroeder, number 11. SGA, number 12 in this fan voting for MVP. What the hell is this? Giddey, 13. Franz Wagner, 14. Rui Hachimura, 15. Santi Aldama, 16. Kostas Papalenkaukau for Greece, the second Greece guy. Yuta Watanabe, they don't even have his name down. They called him Other, or some other guy's named Other or something. Yuta Watanabe, number 19. Patty Mills, 20. Bojan Bogdanovic, 19. Bruno Caboclo, 22. And then RJ Barrett, 23rd in the FIBA MVP voting by fans right now. That's crazy. Fans don't know what they're talking about. They're fucking just voting for their own people. All right. Seymour saying wins. That's right. What's your expectations of the team this year? I want playoffs. If we make the playoffs, it's a pass for me. I'm with that. Once again, I'm only about improving. And, well, the bar is very low from last season. So if we can get more than 25 wins, I'll be happy because we've improved. Now, I would say I'll be like less than thrilled if it's just from 25 to 30. So if we get over 30 wins, I'll be very happy. If I get 25 to 30 wins, I'll be like, okay, this is better. But it's like, I wish it was better than this. It's kind of like that. I'll gauge it by 25 and up. I'll be happy. I won't be happy. I'll be like, all right, we did better than last year. 30 and up, I'll be more happy. And then 35 and up, hey, I'll be very, very happy. We have a plus 10 win differential from last year. I'll be happy. Then if we get to 42, that's a winning season and probably the playoffs. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now, Seymour. We got to do better. If we get at least 26 wins this year, I'll be like, all right, we improved from last year. And we know we probably will. But if we get like 35 wins, all right, I'm going to be really happy then. Yeah. Yeah, went in with that barbecue, Tommy. That's right. Time to cook. Carlos here. He's got that 30th anniversary logo in blast. Let's see. Mike saying purple dinosaur jersey is rated high on all-time jersey lists by most people. They see it as a cool 90s retro style. I know. I get that. I get that. I have no problem with that. I'm very proud that that jersey is one of the most popular jerseys in the history of the NBA. But in some ways, I want to break it out for the right occasion. And this year is the right occasion. So we're going to put it out on blast again. In some ways, I don't want to wear it every day for the whole entire year. No, it's for anniversary celebration throwback games. And, reverting completely back to the purple dinosaur motif for the Raptors as their main primary jersey is just not realistic. Or in some ways, I told you why it's not realistic. Because like I said, the merchandisers want the easy logo to make clothing with. And that purple dinosaur is so hard to make stuff with as far as mass produced. So let's see. Stargate saying the Celtics have the most boring jerseys in the league. They are the NBA champs. Golden State and San Antonio have plain boring jerseys, and they are dynasties. Jerseys are insignificant to winning. Yeah, in some ways, they're partly something to get more money, change jerseys every single year. Fans that want to collect all the jerseys spend a lot of money. You want to have every single Raptors jersey in the history of the Raptors. There's a lot of different jerseys, a lot of different jerseys. So yeah, in some ways the simple is easy, but the thing about it is those jerseys are symbolic and they're kind of part of the branding. You know, that Celtics jersey, as boring and stupid as it is the symbol and the way it looks. You see a picture of Bird playing, and that jersey looks similar to something that somebody's playing now, like Jaylen Brown. That connects eras, and in some ways, I like that kind of continuity for those old established franchises that have that kind of stuff with their jerseys. In some ways, we have to start somewhere. And if we're shuffling up and dealing and rebranding our team every so often, well, how do we anchor into a look like those long established franchises? That's kind of what my point is right here. And like I said, I'm with Stargate. In some ways, I don't care if the jersey is very basic. In some ways, we just want it to look fresh. And, and as long as, we're winning, that's more important. That's right. Mike's saying, in my opinion, whatever era, it's all part of the Raptors. We don't get 2019 without the Barney era. Once you can accept that, it feels fine. Growing pains of a team not based in America. We fought for our place. Yeah, and our mascot is rated high on the all-time list also. Yeah. Our mascot, the guy who plays him, is amazing. He's getting up there, and I hope that he can continue to do his job for many, many years still. But he's around my age, and in some ways, the Raptor being the Raptor this whole entire time, just the same guy, that's really impressive. And he is one of the top in his field. He definitely is. He definitely is. There's a lot of people around the league that are mascots that look at the Raptor and say, yeah, I want to be like him in certain ways, for sure. No, I get it, Mike. Everything happened to have in the Raptors history had to happen to get to where we got to in 2019. But still, it's like, I don't know what you want, Mike. What do you want? Do you want a full rebrand to go back to purple as our primary color? Do you want the regular jersey to become like the old original jersey? Is that what you want? Because I'm not with that contingency. There are people in our fan nation that are. And in some ways, I'm just a dissenting opinion on that. And I'm okay with disagreeing people on this. I really am. Carlos saying to do good in Africa, you need to be able to dance with dictators. What a trash article. What Messiah has done is good for the people in Rwanda. Yeah, I think that's what matters right there. In some ways, you could look at it this way, Carlo. Some people may be anti-helping Africa, and they're trying to make it look bad by only talking about the bad stuff about Kajme is what they're doing. It's like, that's what it is. In some ways, there's forces that are racist out there, and they may not like Masai trying to cultivate more economic opportunities for Black people in Africa. And so they're going to put out an article on ESPN talking about how the NBA, Adam Silver and Masai Ujiri is in bed with a dictator in Rwanda. I think that's a big part of the mechanism. Is like, oh, Africa's getting too successful in basketball. They're building too much over there too quickly. We're scared of it. Let's put out an article that's kind of negative about the whole situation. And then maybe some people will have a bad opinion about it. And then they'll only carry that. Some people, it's so weird in politics. People will go after Trudeau and Biden and different people, Harris, and say certain things about their record where it's like that may be one thing that's kind of dishonorable about them. Like Trudeau is the corporate stuff. He's a corporate puppet. In some ways, people talk about Kamala Harris for her prosecution and the way she's put people in jail over her career as a prosecutor. These are like blemishes or little bad things that are like very small percentage of all the good things that they're doing. But some people can't get past those really bad things, and they absolutely hate these people for it. That's the trick right there. That's the mechanism. And if somebody was trying to paint the NBA's involvement in Africa and Rwanda as a bad thing because they're in bed with a dictator, well, that's what this action is. They're trying to give you something to be mad about it. So some people get real touched off about it. They're like very anti it. Somebody really hates like certain things about Justin Trudeau. They'll get more antagonized about it if there's one key issue that really touches a nerve with people. And that's what the whole plan is with the right, is to villainize certain leaders on that side, the other side, and really make people hate them blindly just because of one little detail, one little percentage of something about them. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody's ideal. But overall, Trudeau's way more ideal than Paul Revere. Trust me. That's what I say to that right there. Yeah. Let's see. You got to dance with dictators to an extent in Africa. I think that's totally true. Seymour saying, damn, I missed the effing card again. Cheesed. Yeah, you did. You did. You got to get here right on time. I was doing them right at the end of the stream for a while, but I started doing them like when David shows up, since he started showing up again. So sorry about that, man. Mike's saying the Bloomberg video is 1,000 times better than ESPN. Funny how they talk about the poor dictator, but won't say a thing about China because they have money to buy TV rights. Exactly. That's part of it, is the picking and choosing. In some ways, they got to be real careful about how they talk about China. Everybody in the NBA, all of them, the players. This is the truth for even in the WWE. Because WWE are trying to do more in China. John Cena says something to a certain extent about China, gets in trouble, and then he turns around and he has to kiss their ass like crazy after that. And everybody's like, yeah, John Cena doesn't care about human rights because he's endorsing China and going all China this, China that. I mean, I get it. This is the thing. Politics are sticky and crazy, and all these countries have problems. There's problems with the USA and the support of the genocide in Gaza. There's problems here with different things that we're doing here. There's some things that we do with indigenous people that's still not right. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Fiercey's got Scotty on blast for his birthday. I love it. Trevor's saying Joel was benched yesterday. They're saying Kerr is creating problems with the rotation. I don't think so. I think he's smart. It was really interesting that they did not play Joel at all yesterday. That's fantastic. He's a huge fail. In some ways, justice is served. In some ways, he should have never played for that team. Well, he's useless for them. So there you go. Justice served in some ways. Yeah. And it's interesting. Tatum had to start in the place of Drew Holiday. But yeah, USA handling South Sudan way better this time in the game that mattered and blowing them out. Yeah, they did a good job. LeBron getting to 300 points in Olympic basketball competition. Only three Americans have gotten to there, and that's Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James. Yeah, very, very interesting stuff there. Yeah, let's see. Stargate saying Jack Black and Shania Twain both share my birthday, and Michael Jackson is the 29th. Very cool. Yeah, I have the same birthday as Macaulay Culkin. And I'm older than him. Y'all believe that? Seriously, I'm older than Macaulay. It's so crazy. Mike saying the 30 logo might be the Raptors logo for the league stuff, but like maybe no more ball for this year, and it goes back to the ball or changes for the season after. Yeah, no, the 30th logo is only for this year. Like it's only for this special year. Yeah. I don't know why you would think that we'd continue with it. No, it's just for this year. Derps is saying, I haven't commented in a while, but yeah, I remember days ago saying something on that. I'm not even sure what Mo was talking about when she was kind of like saying something to you. Either way, Derps, I'm glad to have you back in the comments. Fiercely saying at Seymour, DeMar needs to let it go. He got his revenge with his daughter's help. I agree with this. McDaniels is a non-factor. Is he even going to play or bench as usual? Yeah, McDaniels is aloof. McDaniels is just floating through life. In some ways, he ain't got no beef with nobody. He's in the NBA. He's happy. That's all that matters. There's no much more motivation for Jalen McDaniels other than I'm in the NBA. Yay. I got that feeling from him last year. And DeMar's going to do what DeMar's going to do. In some ways, we know what to do with DeMar. It's like, let him try and beat everybody, the whole entire team by himself, one-on-one. Well, that won't be a way for the Kings to win. Trust me. That won't be a way for the Kings to win. Yeah, Seymour's laughing, and he wants a dunk for Fiercey. All right, we can give Fiercey another dunk. Why not? You want to give Eye Candy another dunk? 167 for Fiercey at that point. All right, let's see. Derps is saying in-season tournament is a horrendous idea for contenders, at least just compounding the injuries by condensing the season schedule even more. Pretty obvious. I thought the in-season tournament was a mixed bag of success and really not good things. I agree to an extent with Derps. I think that the tournament in some ways makes a more high-stake game in certain ways that makes it fun for the fans to see the higher competition, sure. But also at the same time, I feel like it invites the NBA and the refs to shape outcomes more importantly, because not only are these games in season tournament games, they're still regular season games that count to a team's record. And one of the things I found was last season, the Raptors started the season pretty good considering how bad the record, the schedule was. The schedule was really difficult schedule for the Raptors right away, but they managed to play 500 ball through most of it. And then they got to the in-season tournament, and I felt like they were kind of rolling. But there was a game against the Celtics, the first in-season tournament game that we played, that was just absolutely kind of a railroad where we didn't have a chance to win. It was just like that. And in some ways, that's the thing I don't trust about the in-season tournament, because the stakes are higher and they want to write storyline narratives. They are more likely to cheat teams and manipulate the outcome of this in-season tournament, Lakers winning. And that is not good, because in some ways they can hurt early chemistry of a team early in the season to try and build up by like making them feel bad because they get cheated in certain games. That's one of the things they've done in the Raptors when we get on runs. Like last year, we started to get on a real run with the barbecue, the spicy barbecue. And then that was the Laker game happened where we went to LA and the refs, no matter what, were against us, and they forced the Lakers to win no matter what. And Darko went on his tirade. That was a deflating game for our team. In some ways, if we're in a groove and we're playing really well and we're playing with good chemistry, the NBA is going to try and stop it by cheating us, by basically straight up cheating us, whether it's Scotty getting thrown out by Scott Foster in Denver, that one game, or whether it is that Laker game last season. So be conscious of this. When the Raptors get on a win streak or they start getting things going well during the season, if there's a weird game where the referees are absolutely controlling the game to make the other team win, that's them trying to kill our spirit, our momentum, our good stuff that we're building off of each other. I hate it, and I can see it blatantly when it happens. And when the in-season tournament happens, it's more likely that they're going to try and do shit like that, because in some ways they don't want to write no narrative where the Raptors are going to Vegas and they're one of the 8 teams that are playing in that whole part of it. No, they don't want that. They don't want that. That's not what they want. So Derps, I'm halfway agreeing with you on this. I really am. Yeah, Mo's saying, Lex, in reference to the in-season court, it's the same one as last year. Okay, so they're going to use the same one as last year. Well, that makes sense. In some ways, those courts are expensive. And to make an in-season court every single year that's different, it can be expensive, especially if you're only using that court twice for the whole entire year. So yeah, it's good that they're using the same court once again this year. It's a very good court. I like the black and gold. I like that look to it. Yeah. Milbester's here. Good to see Milbester. Knicks Nation in full effect today. We got Milbester and Shannon here today. Let's see. He's saying that 30th anniversary logo is sick. Laughing my ass off. It's dope, Lex. So 1995. Wow. 30 years since the NBA expansion to Canada with the Toronto Raptors and Vancouver Grizzlies. There you go, Milbester. Yeah, 30 years, 30-year anniversary this year. I'm going to give you a dunk, Milbester, for showing up and appreciating our jersey and our logo, and also like in the history of the Raptors being in the league now for 30 years. 16 dunks for you, Milbester. Good stuff. Yeah, Gordon Hayward retires. All right. Derps is saying in-season tournament or NBA Cup. Name change, stole it from WNBA probably. Yeah, it's the NBA Cup presented by Emirates Airlines. Yeah. I mean, they're going to name it something generic. It'll be a different name over the years. It's really going to be whoever's going to put that corporate sponsorship on top of it will get the naming rights to it over the years. We'll see. Yeah, Mike saying Masai has really made a point of bridging the past with the present Raptors. He understands it's important to have a home for these past players' accomplishments. We had real ones even in the 90s. No, and listen, I love it. Like Hearing the interview with Damon Stoudemire from last December recently, talking about how he really does understand his legacy and his part in the Raptors history is good because he's the very beginning. And he can anchor that even with flaky ass, fucked up people like Vince Carter and Chris Bosh. Well, Damon Stoudemire is a real one for the Raptors, true and true to this day. Well, he's anchored the beginning of our history. And even if Vince, he comes in, he does a little bit more like being cool with Toronto now at this point for getting his kudos from us. Yeah, that's great. Maybe Vince can start healing some things more and more over time, but it's going to take him stop dissing the Raptors in Toronto down on American media. Is because we're still hearing you doing that, Vince, just so you know. And then Bosh, I don't care what Bosh does, honestly. Bosh, you are a Heat champion. You're more Heat Nation. You went into the Hall of Fame as a Heat player. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? You can turn your back on your Raptors career. That's fine. In some ways, don't expect us to celebrate you like we're going to celebrate the other guys, though, just because of that. Seriously. That's Bosh's own shit. He doesn't have to be like that, but he is. He is like that, guys, just so you know. Just so you know. Mike Sam, VC left the first year of the red claw jersey. Yeah, that claw part, that claw era was weird. That wasn't a very good era either. Now, I'm not very much into that, like basketball with the claws on top. That logo, that era was not good for Raptors. That's another one I don't like seeing it. Yeah. That the red VC is the demon jersey to me. When he turned and he started to leave, yeah, I can get behind that because that kind of did coincide with that. The Anthony Parker red Raptors jersey. Yeah, Derps is saying as long as Star J, I love it, puts on a jersey with the Canadian flag, he's going to be balling out. That's right. I like that. I love that. Yeah, Star J, you're going to get that respect. You're going to demand it. People will give it to you because you will demand it. I'm all about that. There's that link to vote for FIBA MVP, guys. Mo's got my cutoff now. W stream, guys. W vibes. Keep at it always. Thank you, Mo. Thank you. And Fiercely saying, thank you for the link, Lex. No problem. Yeah, y'all do your votes and put them in there. Derps is saying could end up tanking. No one besides Davion is in a contract year. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do this year. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm not all about tanking. I want them to win to their ability. And that's the best way we can be. And Mo's saying we're not tanking. That's for sure. Yeah. Derps is saying we're going all in depending on a trade. I think that's more likely just because that's been our history in different ways. I mean, I don't think we're going to go all in to try and win the championship this year. This is a discovery year with the new draft picks, the youngsters coming in, and the discovery year of barbecue as the leadership group of those three guys from the start of the year. And we'll just have to see how they do. Like if they're successful, if they're winning games, let's just let them do what they're going to do. That's how I feel about it. I think the fans in some ways are trying to control too much from trying to say, oh, we shouldn't try and win this year or this or that. Let the players control this. Let Darko try and coach and control this. And let them do it the way they're supposed to that builds towards winning. Because that's part of it. We've got to make sure we do it right. If we pull punches, we don't try and win on purpose, that's no good. They've done that in the past as far as like players are injured or holding out or they're not playing because of little injuries. Yeah, there's a little bit of manipulation in the Tampa season and at the end of last season with trying not to win as much for sure. But we don't want to go in that mode. That's only when we're at a point where our very important players are shelved for the year and we can't play anymore. In some ways, it's not in our best interest to try and win when Scotty and Jakob are out because we're not going to have a very good chance of consistently winning. So it's kind of we got to go with the flow and see how it goes, kind of thing. Yeah. Wayne's saying the bar. I have to wait and see what our bench looks like. Total faith in the starting five. And Bruce Brown, if still with us, hang on, it jumped. I need to see one more sharpshooter. I'm counting on Grady as one already. Well, let's see if Jacoby can do this, Wayne. Seriously, Jacoby's got a pretty good outside shot, and he could really surprise us as far as his ability to fill it up from the outside. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if Shed can dial in and maybe make his three-pointers better too. So we'll have to see. Nameless saying, I'm in the opinion of we should return to our original jerseys, stick to your roots and be proud. Yeah, but those were kids' jerseys. That point in time, the Raptors were very marketed to the children, and it was really kind of like for kids. The whole idea of the Jurassic Park naming Raptors, and then like it was very infantile in some ways. I mean, I get it. It's fun. It's nostalgic. but we have more adult, grown up kind of jerseys. And in some ways, it symbolizes the age of our franchise. It's like we were kids back then when we wore the kids' jerseys. And now we wear men's jerseys because we've grown up. How about that? How about that? Yeah. And Name was saying, I ain't trying to switch up for public perception. Who gives an F what they think? The lion is not concerned with the opinion of the sheep. I like that. I like that. I mean, people are going to talk trash and they're going to insult us either way, and we can't control that. I don't know. In some ways, maybe my opinion on this is in the minority, but I want to espouse my opinion because as an old head from the very beginning that remembers every single part of the Raptors history from the very, very beginning, in some ways, I can fill in some of the stuff that maybe some of the younger people that weren't around in the 90s to watch the Raptors can get the feel from me. People, people like Evelyn, people like, there's a lot of us older Raptors fans that were there that are on this channel. And there's some that, when you came in and started watching the Raptors, whether you're like Nako, who started watching them in the last 10 years, whether, you're somebody who watched them for the last 15 years, the last 20 years. Well, I've watched them for the last 30 years. And I really do understand that earlier time. I really, really do. Mike's saying, I like the cool retro stuff, but we're a new Raptors. It's cool to have one of the 4 versions as a retro style jersey. We have the city edition. Some years in purple is fine, 30th, 50th, etc. I think that's the balance. That's exactly what they'll do is like, we got to keep our regular color scheme. And if the purple shows up on anniversaries, there's nothing wrong with that. That's really kind of where I'm at with it right there. Right there. Wayne's saying your bad thing is my accountability. The question is, what are you doing to fix what you accuse me of doing? Interesting. What is that? Your bad thing is my accountability. The question is, what are you doing to fix what you accuse me of doing? I don't even know. What did I accuse you of, Wayne? This is such a non sequitur. I don't even know. I don't mean to offend or anything like that. I have no idea what this is in relation to. I don't know what I'm accusing you of doing. I don't know. Carlos saying, Lex, what was it like when the NBA announced that they were expanding to Canada? It was amazing, Carlo, because I really was a huge NBA fan already. And I didn't care about the NHL. I've never cared about the NHL. And I was probably one of the very few, very diehard, like I love the Raptors right away because I lived in the States at that time. And when I heard the announcement, I was giddy. I was absolutely giddy. I was so excited. And I can remember going to get the gear, like the Raptors hat and shirt that I got originally in the very beginning before the team even started playing. They didn't have any players yet. And I had bought a Raptors shirt and a Raptors hat at the Hudson's Bay across the street from the Eaton Center at Queen Street and Yonge. Yeah. I can remember it like clear as day. And the feeling of joy that is like, this is like the stars are lining up and something amazing's happening. And it has been absolutely amazing in the 30 years since that time when I saw that article in the newspaper saying the NBA has granted a franchise to Toronto. That's when it started for me. Because, there were groups that tried to get a team in here for many years. There were a couple of groups that tried to do it. They were going to try and move the Cavs to Toronto because the Cleveland Cavaliers were not doing well in the middle 80s. And there was a movement to move the Cavs to Toronto, like actually move that franchise from there. There was also a group in the 80s, and this has recently come up because there's a picture of Wilt Chamberlain running in Yorkville in Toronto. And at that time, he was in Toronto he was a part of an ownership group that was trying to get a team in Toronto in the middle of the 80s too. Like imagine that, if that had took, and Wilt Chamberlain was like one of the main architects and early people involved in the Raptors franchise, much like Isaiah Thomas was when we did finally get it. That's very interesting to me. So the attempts to get a team in Toronto had been a few, and they had failed up until the one that finally got through by John Batove in that group. And that is one of the happiest days of my life when I saw that article, and I didn't even know what the team's name was. I just saw that NBA's coming to Toronto, and that's all I needed to see. So that's what it was like, Carlo. Was right there. It was amazing. And I was on cloud 9 right away because I was an NBA nerd. I knew everything about the NBA at that point. And we didn't even have the Raptors at that time. I did. I knew all these guys like Grant Long. I was studying his stat lines and stuff like that. I knew all about the NBA. I was studying it like crazy. I was like Amit. I was like a teenage kid like Amit that was absolutely studying the history and learning everything about the NBA. I studied the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the whole entire history of the NBA. I tell you all about the different eras. George Mikan era, the Celtics era, everything about it. When the Knicks were winning championships, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, y'all are laughing at me. Ha 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 ha. That's good. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying this season we are going to go to some in-season tournament games. You are okay. Regular season games to back to back in LA and hoping to come to Toronto for one game. Yeah. Well, you better come here, Trevor, and we better see you. Because if you come to Toronto, we're going to hang out. We're going to have a Raptor Freak family hangout because we want to all get together. Yeah. Seymour saying the guy from Brazil is getting votes because he dunked on Gobert nasty. Second best FIBA dunk next to Vince Carter. See, that's not the reason to vote for people. I mean, I get it. Go ahead. But that's casual basketball fan that's in the highlights and not looking at the meat and potatoes of what RJ Barrett's doing. There we go. All right. But thanks for giving me clarification on why that Brazil guy is so high up, like second in the voting. It's weird. It's weird. Derps is saying, definitely excited to finally see Grady with the 3 starters and Darko finally getting a real season in. Let's go. Yeah, last season was a tough year, but he was thrown to the fire. There's such a tumultuous season of upheaval that it was a real strong learning curve for Darko in his first year. In some ways, a lot of lesser coaches would have failed miserably in different ways. The way that some people say, well, Darko did fail because he didn't win that much. No, you've got to understand, he kept a certain quality and feel and way of doing things on this team through failure. And that's absolutely fantastic. In fact, the fact that our Raptors at the end of the season were more bought in and more on page with Darko than they were at the beginning of the season is a real sign that what he's doing is worthwhile and the players believe in him. It'd be one thing if, like, at the end of the season, the guys were like, yeah, this was a waste of time. No, they were all ready to come back and start the next season right away. In fact, Olynyk was like, man, we're finally getting things kind of figured out here. I hate that we're not going to be able to continue with the Raptors this season. That's kind of how it felt at the end of the season. It was like, oh, wait, we're just starting to feel good. I wish the season was continuing. So the players are very excited about coming back and playing for Darko because they have that from last year already. That's right. Kareem saying at Carlos, I was in grade 5 in 1995. There wasn't much buzz about the new NBA team in Toronto, especially because this is a hockey town. But when the Toronto Star put out an article giving the fans a chance to vote on a team name, I believe basketball started to pick up around the city. I voted for the Dragons, by the way. So you wanted the Toronto Dragons, but dial. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Like I said, I was in Florida, and I saw it in the Tallahassee Democrat one morning. It was saying the NBA has granted Toronto an NBA team. And I was like, what? I was like, yeah. And I was down at Florida, and I was excited about that. And then the next trip I came up to Toronto. That's when I got the gear. And I went to my first Raptor game around Christmas, the first year of the Raptors. Yeah, I went to a game in the Dome and saw them play in the Dome at the very beginning. Yeah, it was crazy. They were playing Detroit, and Joe Dumars played for Detroit at that time. It was crazy. Yeah, the commissioner of the referees was playing for them, and Grant Hill and Allen Houston was on that team also. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Mike is saying the red 3 claw era was the bad era, in my opinion, not the Dino era. We had 2 rookies of the year in the purple era. Then 3 claw era is no one wanted to come to the Toronto era, stagnation. Yeah, I won't disagree with what you're saying there. I mean, we had some individual success. And sure, the playoff runs of the early 2000s, the couple that happened around Vince were exciting, and they were very fantastic. But you've got to understand also that part of that claw era that you're talking about, the stagnation, was brought about by Vince. Seriously. Vince brought that on us. That whole era, that bad stuff in the late 2000s with Chris Bosh was really Vince's fault because he left us high and dry. In some ways. That's how I feel about it personally. I know some people will disagree with me, and that's their right. Nameless saying, I respect your opinion on the jersey matter, and you do make valid points also. Okay, Nameless, as do all of y'all. In some ways, there's no cut and dry answers for this. This is all just hyperbole. This is all just semantics. This is all just like our own personal taste. And in some ways, we're going to differ on this. We're human. And, well, we have our own sensibilities. That's right. Tommy's saying, Toronto Dragons? Have a good one. Go Raptors. Yeah, that would have been interesting. I think Towers would have been the second best name just because of the CN Tower. Toronto Towers makes sense because in some ways the CN Tower could be branded into it And then also, it's a pretty good basketball name, honestly. Your towers mean you're tall, and that could mean that we were a very tall team most of the time. Like maybe it influences the drafting. They're like, yeah, we got to get more centers because we're the towers, and we don't come as advertised if we're not towering over our opponents. So that personally was my favorite back then, was the Towers name, and it really was because of the CN Tower and what I just said. There were weird ones too. Toronto Hogs, because our nickname is Hogtown. That would have been weird if we were the Toronto Hogs. That would have been really, really weird. Really, really weird. Yeah. Yeah. Wayne's saying, not you, Lexicon. The ESPN article on Masai and dictators accusing NBA and Masai, they critique without offering any solutions. Regarding Harris, Biden, Trudeau, they have responsibilities to do their job. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And nobody's going to do the job exactly the way everybody wants them to do it. And in some ways, I would take the most good over the very little bad, because in everything there's good and bad, and all the candidates for politics are going to have bad in them. Just trust me on this. But does some people say there's an equivalency between sides? No, there's not. Trust me, there is not an equivalency. And some people will try and say, well, I like the Republicans more than the Democrats because in some ways the Republicans are more straight up who they are. The Democrats, they like say the quote by Malcolm X is, I don't trust the Democrats because they're going to do us dirty and smile to our face. I don't believe this is totally true. Now, I think that it is true that the industry of politics and corporatism and stuff like that is all messed up, and there is a lot of shady shit going on. But when you see something like Biden go across picket line or go to picket lines and stand with people on strike and being pro-union, when you see different stuff like that, you get the feeling it's like, yeah, this guy is actually on the common man's side, on the right side of things. So it's a weird situation. Politics are weird. There's no perfect candidate. But to say that the two sides are equal and equally bad is not right. Trust me, it is not right. One side comes with a heavy dose of fascism. And the other side, people are trying to say they're communists, but they're not communists. Trust me. What they're trying to do is not communism. It's socialism, sure. Socialism, as far as getting our tax dollars paid towards programs and roads and parks and things that we actually get from it instead of a war machine. Yeah, I'll get behind socialism all the time, especially when it's actually helping ordinary people and they have better life and life quality for it. So, I mean, people get it confused. They do. But yeah, we'll do a little bit of politics on Thursday, just a little bit. A little bit. Yeah, there's no offering no solutions, are they, in the ESPN article, as Wayne said. That's right. Derps is saying WNBA team's going to be called Toronto Juju Tornadoes because you want to get Juju Wilson or something like that. Yeah, that Juju girl, Watkins, isn't her name? Or what is her name? Juju. She's coming up. Yeah, who knows? I really want to get Paige. Let's get Paige on our team. We won't get a Canadian player. Let's get Paige on our team. She's going to be good. She's going to be good. That's who I want. Yeah, but it's going to be fun to see how they name this team. Are they going to do the same thing? Are they going to have a naming contest like they did 30 years ago for the Raptors? We'll have to see. Mike saying DeMar changed the no one wants to be in Toronto, but I think Bosch and Bargnani hurt our image more during that era. Bosch definitely hurt our image. I don't think Bargnani did. I mean, Bargnani was just Bargnani. In some ways, I don't know how he hurt us. I don't make fun of Bargnani. I don't think Bargnani is somebody who's like a tarnishment on the Raptors' history. Sure, he's a number one pick, but he was a good player. And there's so many number one picks that didn't do jack shit. And Bargnani had a good NBA career. So everybody trying to say that Bargnani was an L for the Raptors, you're actually wrong. You're wrong because he was a serviceable NBA player and a starter for many years. And a lot of people just don't understand that, like, what the realm of like being a bust in the NBA actually is. And Bargnani was not a bust. A bust is somebody like Greg Oden, who couldn't play because of injuries. A bust is Michael Olowokandi, drafted by the Clippers and seeing what he did with his career. A bust is Anthony Bennett. Okay, those are busts, and Bargnani is not a bust. And I've never looked at him as a negative part of our history. He's actually somebody to celebrate. He's the first ever first pick in the draft by the Raptors. So I don't look at him bad. I look at Bosch bad though, because he totally disrespected us the way he went down to Miami to go be with LeBron like that and turned his back on us. And Bargnani, I don't care. Bargnani doesn't celebrate us. Who knows? Maybe Bargnani shows up this season and waves to everybody. I mean, I love that. If Andrea Bargnani was one of the alumni guests for the 30th season, I would celebrate it. Some people would be like, whatever. Maybe he wouldn't want to come because he'd be worried that people would treat him badly. I don't know. That shouldn't be the case because honestly, in my eyes, Andrea Bargnani is a Raptor alumni in good standing. He's in good standing. Cowboy saying, "Good morning, Raptors freaks. Oh, you're gonna show up right after I'm done. I like the logo. Let's go." And there's the old school jersey. Let's grow. Everyone have a great day. All right, Cowboy, coming in real quick. We'll do the ta-da advertisement. Call Bradley 647-833-6844. He's out in your area working, and he can help you. That's right. Mike's saying number one bust and a beta star. Yeah, he's not a bust, Mike. He's a serviceable starter in the NBA. And at this point in the NBA, if you get a number one player that's like that, that's good. That's good. Just trust me. Just trust me. The busts are guys that never actually get anywhere in their NBA career. And there's been many of those. Would you say Joe Smith is a bust too? Because Andrea is just as good as Joe Smith was in his career, honestly. And Joe Smith, a lot of people would say Joe Smith was a bust. I don't agree with that. Joe Smith had a long career in the NBA and he did very good things. It's like it's all different levels and perception is how I look at it. Yeah, beta star, sure, I'll take that. He wasn't as tough a player that he could have been, but in some ways, he played in the wrong era. If he played right now, he'd be an amazing all-star, and everybody would love him. He would be like a top star in this league. In some ways, he was ahead of his time, and he didn't fit in the era of the NBA when he was there. But if he came along now, oh my gosh, Andrea Bargnani would be a very, 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 very good star. Cowboys saying Toronto geese. It's a badass bird, and it migrates to the U.S. every year to take a shit. Let's go. That's pretty in depth right there. You want the Toronto geese, like the Canada geese. Bradley. Oh my gosh. Derps is saying Page is hurt like no tomorrow already. Toronto's WNBA team is 2 years away. Page is 1 year away, I think. I think you're right. The timing may not be right, but that's the way I'm thinking, Derps. And I think that would be smart for marketing with Teresa Resch and Larry Tannenbaum and the new WNBA team is get a Canadian young lady to be the first face of the league, of their team. I think that's the way it is. Yeah. Name was saying if we spend our tax dollars half as well as Japan or some other Eastern Asian countries, we'd all be a hell of a lot better off and happier. See, vediamo tutti domani. All right. See, vediamo tutti domani. See you all tomorrow. I agree with Nameless. The biggest fail of politics, government, and everything is North America. The whole entire world's doing things way better than us. They get more done. Europe is way ahead of us. Asia's way ahead of us. Africa's starting to gain. And you know what? It's our own damn fault because we have partisan politics that hold everything up in gridlock and a waste of money to pay these jokers to stand up there and not get anything done. And that's just the stalling out of a very, very bad right wing that is obstructionist, that won't allow anything to happen if it doesn't have anything to do with them. And then the stuff they want to do is controlling and freedom limiting as far as abortion and limiting everybody's rights in different ways. So, yeah, the politics are broken on this continent and nothing's getting done correctly. And our tax dollars are not spent correctly either. I feel way better. Like when I was over in Estonia this summer, I was like, man, they have a lot of things going on here that make sense. People seem happy. People seem taken care of. And at some point, you know, the people in this continent, in Canada and United States, need to figure out that our living, the way we're living, is not right. In some ways, the pressures, the economic pressures, the all kinds of different things that are going on right now is abusive by our own government towards its own people, is what I'll say. And that other places are doing a better job of taking care of people. And the example of Japan is exactly right, what Nameless is saying right there. Yeah, Mike's saying from the drafting side, Bargnani hurt us. It didn't really work out for him, or you're going to have to play him. That hurts. Well, I will say this, Mike. That draft year was very much like this draft year. It wasn't a very good draft year. And in some ways, look, we can go back and redraft that year. We can see different people who were in that draft that maybe we should have took at number one. But I'll still stand by the reasoning of Colangelo when he took Bargnani at that time. That in some ways, the way he looked and the way things were happening was the right pick. And I don't have any regrets about Bargnani. Every single time you get a player, you hope that they can do certain things. Now, Bargnani was a double-double machine. Nobody talks about that. That man averaged double digits in points and rebounds for a while for us. So I can't do this. He had holes in his game. Sure. He had no defensive stuff. In some ways, that was a huge, huge problem. But for the most part, I will say this. I'm not anti-Bargnani. I don't make him a punchline like a lot of people do. I'm proud of his part in our history. And in some ways, it's not totally his fault. He lived in the wrong era of time, is what I would say on that. That's what I would say on that. So we can disagree on Bargnani. And yeah, maybe he did hurt us, but this was the year that they wanted the Raptors to pick first, a really weak ass year, just like they wanted the Hawks to pick first this year, because this year sucked. And in some ways, it's like, well, the Raptors are going to have to pick first one year. Let's make it a year where the draft isn't that good, because that's where it was, and that's part of it right there. Derp's saying the Toronto Juju Geese. Dunk for Cowboy. Here it comes. All right, Nameless wants a dunk for Cowboy. It's just Nameless isn't here all the time. I'm going to definitely give him the dunk. 86? No, let's not 86 him. Let's 80. Let's give him 3. 88. You're at 88, Cowboy. 88. That's right. Kareem saying, I want the WNBA team in Toronto to be named the Huskies. First Toronto basketball team, first women's basketball team in the city, but change up the colors. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, once again, we've gone over this. Huskies is a name in women's basketball that is very much dominated by a certain team, UConn. UConn has such a history of dominance in women's basketball on the college level that naming your team the Huskies on the pro level, in some ways, I don't agree with it. In some ways, you don't want to try and take away from that history and that name from there. I get the connection for us originally with the first year, but also I don't necessarily want our young women called dogs, is basically what I'm saying too, Kareem. Let's see. Mike's saying, I think Bosch was a beta star. He didn't have the charisma to come to the US, to overcome the USBS. He wasn't bought in when he went to Team USA. He made an exit plan and wasn't bought in like the whole time here. No, I agree with this. He totally made an exit plan with Wade and James when he went to the Olympics, and you're calling him the beta star. Okay, I can get behind this. In some ways, he was our face of our franchise. He did carry us. He was an all-star. He did get amazing stat accumulations while he was a Raptor. But also at the same time, he should have never been the number one star. And his more better fit was in Miami as the third option on that team, and sometimes even the fourth option. So, yeah, I'll agree with this completely, Mike. As far as like, all right, you want to bash Bosch, I'll go ahead and do that. But in some ways, I want to protect Bargnani because he gets so much bullshit from Raptors fans that's not fair to him. Honestly, he was a good citizen. He came here, he did things right. And we traded him and got rid of him to New York. And that was a really good trade. The Bargnani trade was one of the first big, huge, amazing deals that Masai did. So I don't have hate towards Bargnani. I really don't. Yeah, Derps is saying Sabonis a beta star. I mean, he's pretty soft now. Which one are you talking about? You talking about his dad, or are you talking about the one who's in Sacramento right now? If you're talking about the one who's in Sacramento right now, Arvydas Sabonis was never a beta star. I wouldn't say that. He's like Scotty. He's an enhancement star. He's going to make everybody else better on the court because of his passing prowess. Now, Domantas, I mean, listen, the way that the Kings structure is with their leadership there, it's ambiguous whether it's De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis' team. Now you got DeMar in there in the picture. It's like a muddled thing. I would say this. Sabonis is more established as a force in the NBA, and in some ways he has more accolades than De'Aaron Fox. Some people are trying to say Fox is the player that controls that team, but I don't know. I don't know how to deal with this question because when you say beta, what do you mean? That means second guy in command? Because in some ways, all these teams are alphas. All these guys are alphas. There's no beta involved in this. And in fact, I kind of don't like Mike inserting the alpha beta language in the chat because it's not necessary. It's not necessary here. So, yeah, Derps is saying Kings one no-show in the playoffs is what I'm referring to. Yeah, I think the Kings are pretenders. I think that it's just confusing what they did getting DeRozan. I don't know if he actually fits on that team. I think that in some ways DeRozan just want to play in California and he's just going to take what he can get. And the Kings, I just don't totally understand this. I don't understand this move. In some ways, I don't think the Kings are going to be any better than they were last year. They seem like they were better 2 years ago. And well, in some ways, they lost their best assistant coach this year because he's going to Brooklyn. So I have no faith in the Kings with DeMar DeRozan on that team. In some ways, I had more potential and faith in DeMar DeRozan on the Bulls if they had gotten healthy, but that never happened. So I have no faith in them in Sacramento. They're a weird team. They're just absolutely weird. Mike's saying KD is in his feelings the way Bosch was. Bosch played basketball because he loved basketball, but not Toronto. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. I do want the cutoff, though, because I am past time, guys. And I know you guys want to keep talking. but it's all good. KD is very interesting. I think that KD is depressed. KD is a sad person, but in some ways that's okay. Some people are just going to be unhappy and sad people. He's so in public. It is what it is. I mean, I don't know what hurts Kevin at night. I don't understand why Kevin's so tortured. Could have something to do with his romantic life. Could have something to do with his past and his family. It could have so many different things to do with the deep, deep hurt that Kevin Durant has inside him. And I don't know what it is. It could have something to do with the way fans and people are with him. And he's just like, you know what? I'm going to be like Dylan. I'm a villain. And I will talk smack to all y'all, back to y'all. I don't know. Kevin's a weird one. But in some ways, he is absolutely one of the greatest to ever play in the NBA. And that's what you need to say about him. That's the thing that matters. Right there. Derps is saying Fox is a dog, but Kings are a train wreck, so doubt it matters. DeRozan is purely trade value thing, if I had to guess. I think that they needed to shuffle things around. Maybe they're helping out the Bulls because the Bulls needed to change some things. The Bulls are having no luck moving Zach LaVine. Nobody absolutely wants Zach LaVine. So, well, we're going to move DeRozan just to stir things up. I think that was a little bit of what was happening there with that deal. But yeah, they're a train wreck. I think they are too. Like, they were doing really well a couple of years ago, but they've gone downhill since. Yeah, Mike saying VC did love Toronto fully when he was the guy. Mismanagement has screwed many stars. It was part of us, a part of us at the end. And let's not get this twisted. Vince always had a weird idea about us, just like Chris did. The only thing was, it was like he was enjoying the adulation of the Toronto and Canada and the things he was doing. It's all very narcissistic. He never really had an allegiance to us, Mike. If he did, he would have weathered through things a little bit better. But yeah, we can blame the front office and Rob Babcock and everything about that for Vince and all that kind of stuff you want. But still, I feel like he wasn't a real one. And you can say, oh, he was a real one for Toronto. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Because when he acted the way he acted since then, he turned on a villain and he wanted Toronto to hate him. And he played it up real well. If you were there at the games when he returned as a net, you would know what I'm talking about. You were probably, weren't you there? Didn't you see how he relished us booing him and then him trying to kill us? See, I don't switch sides like that. I'm not a fan of a player. When he did that, he walked the line to an Atlantic Division opponent and started killing us, eliminated us from the playoffs. He was dead to me at that point because I'm that kind of guy. I'm Raptors first. And when Vince did that, and he relished it, trust me, he heard our boos. And he wanted to kill us even more because of that. He made it very antagonistic immediately after he went to New Jersey. So, yeah, I can't get behind you on this in some ways. I don't think he fully loved Toronto the whole time. He was always an American guy that's like, yeah, I'm in this situation. I'm going to make the best of it. But all of his behavior and the things he said since tells me that he's just as much on the sliding scale as Rudy Gay, Andre Drummond, Alonzo Mourning, Kenny Anderson. Yeah, that kind of shit. He's on that scale somewhere. It's just that, you can't do anything when you're so high profile and then you're so in a big scene like that. I have more faith in Scotty because he just signed a huge contract this summer. And like that is a real commitment. And yeah, sure, our management's in a better place at this point. So Scotty probably feels more comfortable than Vince did at that time. So Derps is saying KD is a strange guy for sure. He can cut out social media entirely, probably would drastically improve his life. Yeah, but I think he really loves talking on Twitter with people. He really does. He engages with people left and right on there. And it's kind of hilarious to see him do that. It's kind of surreal and weird. But I think you're right. If he cut out his social media, he probably would be happier. But then again, he's not getting to interact. Smooth saying the Raptors got talent around Bosch thinking he was an alpha. Yeah, I mean, he was a really good player out of Georgia Tech and our fourth pick of the draft at that time. He had potential, but the part of it was him and Bargnani had no size up front, and they were our two biggest players. So we got pushed around. There was no good rebounding, and they were both kind of too skinny for their positions, and they couldn't hold any ground like Kem Birch does. So that was our biggest Achilles heel. Our two most important players are both softies under the basket and can get pushed around, and everybody can just out-rebound us and bully us around on the offensive end because we can't stop them on defense. That's the whole problem with the Bosch-Bargnani combo at that era. Yeah, right there. Let's see. Mike saying VC wanted to bring people to Toronto when he was brought in. Bosch just ran through the motions till he could get out. VC wasn't planning to leave till that last couple of years. All right, Mike, if you want me to rank the two of them, all right, Chris Bosch is worse than Vince. I'll say that. How about that? In some ways, Chris has not circled back and done anything with the Raptors since he retired, and that shows enough right there. And as far as things, Vince is now coming back for his kudos. All right, I'll give him up there. All right, I've dwindled down to just a few viewers, and Mo is emphatically giving me the X out to get out of here. All right, let me just make sure my tabs are good. There's Gordon Hayward's retirement speech. The Raptors are playing 5 preseason games, October 6th, 11th, 13th, 15th, and 18th, 2 against Washington, 2 against the Celtics, and 1 against Jordi Fernandez and the Brooklyn Nets. That's great. On our Instagram stories, the Raptors are celebrating Scotty's birthday on there. Slim Duck is showing more workout time with him on the court, putting in that work, getting ready for next season to be better. He's also celebrating Precious getting re-signed to the Knicks. So still very good friends, Achua and Boucher. I love seeing him showing respect for him and love. And hey, I'm in your city. Okay, enjoy the traffic is what Slim Duck's saying. Emmanuel has moved on from Spain. He's now in Johannesburg. So our guy has quickly traveled down to Johannesburg, South Africa. So that is where Emmanuel Quickly is. So where in the world are you right now? You're in Johannesburg, South Africa is where he is. Wubbs has got more highlights of him. He's got the highlight of him doing the step back 3 in Summer League. It's a beautiful, beautiful shot. Jacoby, we want to see that in the regular season, my guy. He's not even back a day, and he's already got 2 workouts in. I love to hear that workout. There you go. Jacoby came back from vacation, and he's already put in heavy workouts already. I love that. He's got a back-to-school camp coming up August the 8th and 9th, 6th and 7th or something. So, yeah, and Norman has got himself on blast for tonight. He's going to be at the game, the Ball Don't Stop Pro-Am in Toronto tonight at 7:30 tonight at the Metropolitan University of Toronto. So get down there and celebrate him. Kyle Lowry has got a commercial of him putting on some shoes. I don't know. He's out there throwing the pigskin or something. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, maybe that's not Kyle Lowry. That's just some football jumping shoes thing or something. I don't know what's going on. Jordan Wara is still working out. Nobody's called him yet. So who knows? He's just like Malachi. He's waiting for that call. Yeah, Malachi. Some people are putting Malachi on blast. There's a Flynn Muse, and they're trying to say, why isn't Malachi on a team in the NBA at this point? Yeah, that's what my answer is. Yeah, Grady putting some highlights from the Summer League also on his Instagram. There's the Instagram check real quick. All right, let me see. Did I forget anything real quick? I don't think so. Happy birthday. Who are our birthdays today? Scotty Barnes. That's it. That's the birthday today. And on my Instagram, I've got an issue with an episode where there's a leak in the store while I'm in the Kensington Variety. So check out the episode from 5 years ago today. There's a leak in the ceiling during the show. And it's kind of funny what I have to do the show, considering all the obstacles with the guys fixing the leak over the ceiling while I'm doing that. Yeah, there you go, guys. New CBA is no joke. Damn. Yeah, you're out, Malachi. Sorry, my guy. Yeah, ghosted. All right, guys, thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow we're doing a watch along. It's Spain versus Canada in the final game for Group A in the Group of Death. Canada will play Spain and hopefully be a 3-0. 11 a.m. is when I'm going to start my stream tomorrow, and I'll be on doing the call for the game, watch along during Spain versus Canada. So tune in at 11 tomorrow. Not be on at 9:30, just so y'all know. All right, let's go, Raptors. Yeah.